Welcome everybody. We're back for SRS. It is day 2 out of day 2 for the F1 2019 social races, the final of the year. This is the final day of the year, these social races. We had yesterday, Saturday, and we have today as well, Sunday. I'm RhinoCon31. Some know me as PMB05, but hey, you know me who you know me as. And co-commentator, Joseph F1. Some may also know him as Milo Gaming, but he's joining me today. He's not here right now, but that's okay. I'm here. I'm able to talk, and I got the stage, so that's okay. Either way, we'll talk about quite some things from the race in real life at Abu Dhabi, the championship decider. We'll talk about some of the league's moments in the past and what we can reflect on, me and Milo, both as commentators. And I think there's some things we'll definitely speak about with interviewing the drivers. We said we'd interview the drivers yesterday. I think we only got to about 4 or 5 different drivers. I expect to maybe get to more today, hopefully. That'd be wonderful. And we are expecting more of an attendance today too, considering it is a Sunday, and considering we do have possibly more people interested in today's event than yesterday's event from that. Oh, I think Utah Elephant also changed his name to TRT Joe, so that's nice. But as you may see, stream is up. I gotta notify people about that. But since Milo's not here right now, if the chat would like to intervene with anything going on, that'd be wonderful. There are things me and Milo did want to talk about regarding the F1 race. Me and Milo were actually able to do a stream regarding people's predictions from the start of the season. We gone over some people's predictions of some people in the league, some people not in the league, some people used to be in the league, and we gone over some of their predictions regarding prior to the season from January. Me and Milo spoke about that. That'll be on a stream on YouTube. I'll send it into the SRS chat when that's uploaded. But we spoke about some of people's predictions and me and Milo's thoughts regarding things. And yeah, that's really it. We will speak about the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in just a moment. I do want to speak about it with the chat, but yeah, hello. I see people in the chat. I see people watching, and we'll get some more people watching as well. I'm just gonna send out to advertisements the thing I had from yesterday. Where is it? SRS social race. Come watch. Yeah, so we have 3 people watching so far, but we'll probably get more people watching once things get underway. All right. Chungus, you'd have to ask one of the admins. I'm not an admin, so I cannot answer that question. But what I will say though is if Square or one of the admins are in the chat, there's Square, Utile, Expolo, people like them, you might want to ask. I'm putting that in the wrong chat. Oh my lord. But yeah, shortly, we'll, as I said, we'll be talking about the race from today. I'm just hoping Milo gets back soon. Anything new on the FIA page regarding the decisions? Not anything there. Nothing new there. All right. Well, that's okay. We got more people watching, so we'll speak about the Max and Lewis whole shenanigans. So obviously I wonder what the chat thinks about this. Obviously Max and Lewis is champion, or well, Lewis is the championship protagonist, Max coming out on top. Well, I think it is fair to say, no matter if you're a Max Verstappen or a Lewis Hamilton fan, anybody here probably can agree that nobody likes Michael Massey. And honestly, me and Milo were talking about this, and we agreed on the fact that he should resign. He really should. I don't think there's anyone out there who would say that Massey should not resign. Now, this has been a thing for a while now with FIA and the inconsistency throughout the season. Obviously, back in Azerbaijan, people know Verstappen crashed, but it took about forever to put out yellow flags for incidents like that, strolls, safety cars. It took a while to put out those, put out the yellow flag and the red flag as well. Jeddah with the red flag and the inconsistencies from the FIA. I mean, there was a lot going on during that. And I think it goes back and forth with the fact that, you know, Michael Massey's decisions, the steward's decisions, and even back in Brazil. Brazil was a bit of a double standard where Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton both gone off track. I look at that incident two ways, and I think anybody else can too. If you're a Lewis Hamilton fan, you think Lewis Hamilton got forced off. That's how Verstappen kept the lead, and that's not fair. If you're a Max Verstappen fan, you think both of them went off the track. The FIA should keep racing. Yeah, FIA should not get involved with that. Now, drivers have changed their driving standard and the way they drive since then. Now, with Brazil, the decision was no further action. Now, you can say, oh, well, Max should have got a penalty. And realistically, you could say he should have. But at the same time, if that was to be decided days after the race, though, that would have a lot of problems going on, saying, oh, so we are going to decide incidents days after the race now. And then you also have the double standard with that whole incident with them saying, oh, well, you don't give a penalty for it, so I'm just going to think that's okay. I mean, Leclerc knows very well Verstappen and him making contact at Austria, and he knows very well that racing like that has been allowed. So, and you look at incidents like Jeddah with the red flag and inconsistencies there and the tactics and everything else. There's been a lot of inconsistencies from the FIA, and today wasn't the only one. Now, regarding the incidents, I'm going to go through them the best I can with mentioning all of them. Let's see. There's the lap 1 incident. I'm looking at the Discord chat. Nice one. Now, there's the lap 1 incident with Max and Lewis. And Max went for a dive bomb. That was a bit unacceptable. That was pretty bad. But Lewis going off the track. Max was 3/10 behind Lewis before then. They said, Mercedes said, all right, well, we gave up some time. They only gave up about 2 or 3 tenths. Mercedes should have given up more time with Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton should have only been about anywhere from 3 to 5 tenths ahead, considering that's where it was before the first, before that corner entered, and right as the corner entered, there was about 3 tenths. So realistically, Lewis Hamilton should have backed off a little bit that much. But again, this is the same double standard with the FIA. Max gone off the track because of him and Lewis, and Jeddah, Max gone off the track, did the same thing Lewis did today, and Max got a 5-second penalty for it. Lewis didn't get anything. So that's where Red Bull are coming from in that situation. That goes both ways, and there's a lot of incidents today that goes both ways. So that's just one of them. Now it looked like Lewis was probably going to win the championship. And what I will say, though, is if anybody says Checo, what he did was dangerous, it's not dangerous. It's tactic. It's part of the tactics, but it is fair. He did slow him down a lot, and he slowed him down about 6 seconds. And obviously, same circumstances happened in 2010 with Vettel leading and Alonso trying to get by Petrov. Couldn't get by Petrov the whole race. And overall, he lost at least like 6 seconds, I'd say Alonso did. But not in 1 lap or 2 laps, so that's the difference there. But it's something that's been out the outcome of the championship before. Now, Latifi crashes, safety cars brought out. FIA took about a minute to bring out the safety car. That's a problem, especially when you have an accident at that corner of the racetrack and where there's oncoming traffic. I mean, there was yellow flags right away, but there was not a safety car. It took about a full minute for the FIA to bring out a safety car. Safety car took forever to come out. Safety car came out, and from that point on, it had decided what happened next. Max ended up pitting for the softs. People were thinking there could have been a red flag. Race could have ended on a safety car. And that one goes both ways. You have Max who pitted. He was going to be on the fresher tires. Perez was third, also on fresher tires. Perez had to retire because of an engine issue, I think. But Max Verstappen had the advantage in the softs. Lewis was right there. Now, if people say, "Oh, well, they should race should have never ended on a safety car," it happened in 2012 in Brazil, and the race was structured out the way it was there, and that was fair. You know, race didn't get restarted. This one might have not been restarted. I mean, I had the chance to get restarted, but it did. Now, with the way it got restarted, there's a lot of controversy around this whole thing. Lewis Hamilton leading, about 5 lap cars behind him, between him and Verstappen, considering Verstappen pitted. The FIA said at first, oh, no, lap cars aren't allowed to overtake by about lap 55, 56, once they recovered with Latifi's car. Then about a lap later, when racing was going to get back going, oh, lap cars are allowed to overtake. And they only allowed 5 of them to overtake. That's not how that works. You're not supposed to have only a certain amount of lap cars overtake, but others not. You know, that don't make sense. And it's as if the FIA are making up rules as they go. Now with this whole thing with lap cars, Hamilton fans have an actual good argument here with this. Where, oh, well, the rule states very clearly you're supposed to have, I'm looking through Twitter with a bunch of things. I apologize if I'm distracted, but you're supposed to have cars unlap themselves a lap before the safety car comes in. That didn't happen here. That didn't happen. Ended up being the lap cars, which was about 5 of them. It should have been about 8. There was about 8 or 9 lap cars, but those lap cars overtook on the lap that the safety car was coming in. That's not supposed to happen. Now, a fair point to point out here, though, is that's the FIA. That's not like, oh, well, and this would be very unfair to do, but it's not like, oh, well, we made a mistake. Now we got to give the championship to Lewis for this. No, that's not how it works. You can't go back and invert to lap 54 or 51. But, I mean, there's a chance the FIA might do that. But the thing is, though, that's not how it goes. You know, I don't really know how to better explain this. I mean, I'm doing a horrible job, I feel, at it right now. But, all right, F1 driver has lobby open, I think, for anybody wondering. But, let me reword myself with that. You can't, I mean, people, they might say, let's go back to 51, or lap 51 and 54. They were thinking of doing that at Azerbaijan, I'm pretty sure. They talked about that. And even in Imola, Lewis was able to unlap himself. And got back up to but there was a red flag in Imola too. So Lewis did it the minute before they were gonna restart. They didn't do it once they were restarting. That's not how it goes. And
I've not got my audio included, but
hi Milo. Yeah. All right.
eaten yet.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Milo's here with us, but yeah. Yeah. So no, I was just train of thought right there. I was speaking about the Max and Lewis whole deal, but you know, with the whole deal with the FIA right there, you know, Max is trying to follow what he's been instructed and everything else right there. So you can't blame Max for that. You can't say, oh, well, Lewis should have the championship for that. You know, Max shouldn't. Obviously, that's not how they're gonna overturn it. Even though with the FIA, you don't know that could happen. So I don't know. It could go both ways. And with Max overtaking Lewis, I see where it comes from. But I was watching the from Ricardo's on board. It looks like Max is overtaking him, but he's not though. When you look at Max's on board, it's the angle of the on board in the corner with the way it looks like it. His front wing is right next to him, like right next to him. Didn't overtake him, but obviously people have that argument there. Now, what I think Mercedes can do though is they can say something to the FIA. The only thing that can overturn this championship though is if they revert off the results from before the lap cars were allowed to overtake, which would put Lewis ahead of Max and Tsunoda not fourth, and it would also change the outcome. I think it would also change the outcome of the Alpine AlphaTauri constructors championship right there. I think, if I'm correct, but either way, the only way that they might reinvert it to lap 51, lap 54. I don't know. It depends. And to me, my opinion, did Max deserve the championship overall from a season? Yes. But from this race alone, no. No. And me and Milo, I don't know if you got your audio included now, Milo, but me and you were talking about how Michael Massey, poor job from him. But either way, it just shows I don't want to see a championship decided by this again, and it's sadly the way things are going. Championships might get decided by this more often, and it's more for excitement than rather for who deserves it, sadly. But that's just the way it goes, and we still are here, just wondering who's the champion. Now, I don't know if your audio is included or not, Milo, but are you there? Came back. Is he there? I don't think he's there. Unless his controller died like a Godis did yesterday, but actually in a moment I do want to get an interview with somebody here. Might get one or two people in. So if you're just tuning in, we're in the lobby for the social race, and we're about to get things started in about 10 minutes time. And yeah, it's day 2 of the social race, second one. In a minute, I want to get maybe Paulo or F1 driver in here, maybe Utal or somebody to speak regarding maybe an interview or maybe some things they'd like to speak about. Quickly, I'm gonna go grab something to drink because I don't have anything to drink, and that's not good considering, you know, I'm commentating. I don't think I realized how sensitive my mic is up until this point, but either way, if Milo's here or not, I do think we can conclude some interviews here. Chat, what do you think? All right, I'm gonna choose between 3, 4 drivers. Who do we think we should get an interview with? F1 driver, Paulo, Sam, Joe. Out of those 4, who do we think we should get an interview with first? Whoever's message of those 4 guys comes in first, of who people think I should get an interview with in first, then we'll go with them. 6 people watching, so glad to have you with us. Maddie thinks Polo. Well, let's talk with Polo then. Polo God. Polo God. I think that was part of his nickname back in season 3. When he took Paul, it was like, oh God. So we'll speak with Polo. Get him an interview. It's party invite only now. Let me check. Oh, it's joinable. Yeah, we don't want that. We want it invite only. That's probably a better idea. But either way, let's see if Polo wants an interview. I think that's what the chat said. Maddie had said Polo. Let's see if he's up for one. If he isn't, then we'll go to one of the next drivers in line. After the events Polo wants to go with. Okay. Okay. Alright. I at least want to get one interview beforehand. I want to see what maybe QBR20 Joe has to say. He was a league owner toward Season 4, Season 5. I want to see what he has to say regarding the league and some of the memories. I do want to get someone before we go, obviously, into the session. And I think Joe's the right person to go with. He was an admin in end of Season 2, Season 3, became head admin, then owner, and has stayed there ever since, and he's been a big part of this league. Thought we'd at least conduct one interview before we get going. What do you think, Joe?
Well, I'll just wait.
Oh, I was saying, I was wanting to conduct an interview beforehand with at least one of these drivers who are with us, and I was thinking, what about you? You think you're up for it?
Yeah, sure.
Make sure your audio's included. Alright, so obviously heading before this race, this is F1 2019, a completely different game, 2 years prior. This is actually where you started in this league on F1 2019. Kind of explain to the viewers and to me what you remember from F1 2019, and definitely what you'll remember in this league going forward.
2019 was an alright game for me. I did alright in the ARL, but my main problem on this game was not getting a podium. It had like 5 P4s. Here was wanting to do this.
I remember.
Many P4s. This was probably my best P4 from 2019. It came from P19 to P4. That was a crazy race that day. But yeah, I had many memories from ARL, SRS. My win in Austria is probably a big highlight on last game. But yeah, there's been quite a few high moments, quite a few low moments. But yeah, I'm glad we can have this last race.
Besides the memories in F1 2019, what are things you'll remember from even commentary, even as an admin, as a steward, even as a league racer in this league? What are things you'll remember and miss from this league? Definitely, I think those are 2 things to note.
I think I'll definitely miss the racing on a weekend, sitting down, getting ready to play. That would be a big miss. Like talking. I mean, I know this type will stay up, but like talking to people it's well, of course some people will leave. But yeah, driving wise, probably my win at Austria. My podiums last season. I think I got, was it P2 in the end last season? I'll have a look. I think it might have been P2 or P3 in the standings. It was P3. Yeah, P3 in the standings last season in Tier 3. That was quite cool. But yeah, many memories of this league.
Yeah, I think one thing to mention that I can remember, at least with you, is I remember Season 3 Tier 2 stewarding and Tier 3 stewarding from I mean, I don't know if you remember at least the Tier 3 part. It was you, Polo, John, and others who would steward at like, I mean, it was about 1 in the morning your guys' time. I mean, we were that busy and committed with stewarding. I remember it was pretty bad. Stewarding with Tier 2 and Tier 3 was quite interesting that season, to say the least, and it wasn't wasn't the best experience, but it was something like I can like at least think off the top of my head. Like I'm glad to get it over with, but at the same time, it was was worth having in the league and stuff like that. I'm glad I had the stewards I did.
Yeah, I can't believe
Probably other moments too.
I'd stay up 1 in the morning, do stewarding. Oh, I hate stewarding now. Why, I don't know. I just
I know.
don't enjoy it.
I hear you. I mean, there was an incident in one of the leagues I was in last night, and it was controversial. And I just think to myself, I just think like, why do I even bother sometimes, you know? But either way, there's so many glitches with the F1 game that it's become like just more of a controversy with a lot of things, and even controversy happen in real life today, that we know of. But speaking more on the game and in the league, just bring up some of the memories you'll remember regarding, I guess, as an admin and stuff like that, or even as an admin or just entering the league. Like, what are some things you'll remember? Because I think there's a lot of things that I could think of off the top of my head, but I can't remember directly at the moment. You might remember.
I think it probably wasn't the greatest time for League without night, and it was a new server. That was one stressful night. But that's
Oh yeah,
probably a big highlight. Well, not really a highlight, but a big thing that I can.
moment.
Yeah. Like guessing Axe, Milo back to the admin. All that, and then Axe is still admin now. Milo stepped down a few weeks ago. That was quite big. But before that, just everyone working together to do different things. Like we all knew our jobs. And just getting things done.
Well, I've just seen on Twitter that the Max Championship winning tweet from the FAA account is gone.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Well, sticking to the league side of things, though, I know I keep going back and forth on that. I think that's, if anybody didn't know that, that's worth pointing out from the Twitter. Also Milo sent something into the chat as well. I don't know if everybody's in the lobby, but there's 9 people. There was 10 at some point. I don't know if we're gonna get the same amount as we thought we would, but
Yeah, F1 drivers
we're
getting
gonna get more.
crashed.
Yeah, I think Pluto was one who was wanting to join as well.
Yeah, FH maybe.
There were a couple more too. I think. But I remember back to I think you might remember this. Were you involved in this battle or not? Was it the season 4 Bahrain tier 3 controversy with the last couple of laps on the last lap, I think?
Yeah, I was P4 that race. Who would have guessed it?
Okay, yeah.
I think I was ahead of Rundle maybe, but then I spun and then ended only a few laps back. So if I didn't spin, I probably would have been involved in that last lap battle. But I remember qualifying like P15 that race, and then going on the hards to start and then the mediums. So that's also a big highlight from last season. So yeah, that was a good race. Remember that one?
I know one of the races I definitely want to speak about though was you were one of the people I think who had did you race Brazil in season 3 tier 2 or no? So, I'm trying to think. Did you?
I don't
Someone had
remember that
there was
race.
someone who had a front row seat for it too, so.
I remember I raced when X Below won the title. Was that the season
Yep,
after?
in season 4. Yep, season 4 tier 2. Yeah. The brake tester Bennett incident. Trying to remember
Yeah,
back to that.
I
Did
think-
you race that race?
I think I raced that.
I was gonna say you had a front row seat for that.
Yeah, I think I did. Let me try to find it. Yeah, I do remember that, whether it was watching from stream or actually being there. Not sure, but
Still waiting on official confirmation from the FAA. Shouldn't be long, I guess, from what Luke Smith
it
said.
was season 3, wasn't it?
Yep, season 3. Last year tier 2.
I did not race. but I think I was watching the stream.
Oh yeah, because you gave your seat up at the end of the season. That's right.
Yeah, I
Okay.
gave it to Bennett, didn't I?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
so.
Looking at this right
Trying to
now is
remember.
crazy.
Oh, here's a race to mention. Spain, Tier 2, that season.
Oh, was that the
Now,
dry one or something like that?
yeah. Yeah.
I think I got
Kind of
before
explain
that race.
explain races like those and explain races like Austria that season 2 and season 3 tier 2 where you finished 4th as well. Explain races like those, and I'd say how do I put this? Explain the driving standards and definitely the starts compared to what people can kind of describe or think, regarding the league.
I mean, I remember that Austria race where we had like that spell of 5 wet races. It was full wet, monsoon, inters, and then dry. I think Austria was one of them. Explo, I think, got put into that race. He was just ahead of me. But yeah, like those races just with the change in weather, it was really weird because I wouldn't say driving
Yeah.
in the wet is my greatest aspect, but yeah, that was good. It was always good, good racing back in 2019. But just sad, I think as games go on, the games just got worse and driving standards have decreased as it's just gone on.
Yeah, and I mean league racing has changed throughout time, and I think Sam also brought up a good point. And I saw Linus your comment, by the way, so don't think I didn't. V2 and Renault gives him flashbacks, but Sam said Atlantis and Toro Rosso always scoring points. No, that was that. I think that's another thing to remember too. I mean, he was in tier 1 scoring points a lot of the time until he didn't, but. I mean, he was scoring points most of the time, and I think I'm trying to think back on other races too. If you remember, Utah, season 2, tier 2, your incident with Callum actually got the rule of resetting the track actually kind of changed. No, was it you or Callum who reset the track, and one of you
I
hit
think it
each
was
other?
me.
What happened? Okay, who reset the track? You reset. Okay,
Yeah.
and Callum had hit you, and
Yeah, so I
okay.
think I spun, like someone's friend to reset the track. I moved to the left to try and let the cars go on the inside, but then Callum followed me. And then I think I got like a quali ban in 10 seconds for it. I think it was
All
something
right,
like
that would
that.
make sense.
But yeah.
And one more quick thing is admin, and for the league that you've been admin owner for the last great while. Before we do get started, is there anything else you do want to say regarding the league before we do get started?
I mean, it's been a great few years, but everything has to come to an end at some point. But just sadly, with how things played out, we couldn't. Wasn't really a great option to keep it open. With like people like Square, actually Massey stepping down, it wasn't really. It wouldn't have been the greatest choice for me to carry on. But yeah, I'm just glad that we can have this today and try and end it well.
Yeah, I agree with you. Also, by the way, if you've not seen, Max Verstappen is confirmed world
Yeah,
champion. I don't even know if you had your audio included for that one, Milo.
I definitely did.
Okay, all right. All right. Well, I'm now wondering which YouTube channel is gonna copy that and think it's someone else's sound or someone else's sing. I don't know.
Ronaldo's
But
lawyers just copied.
yeah, yeah.
What's the fraud?
But Milo, I don't know if you have any questions. Oh, by the way, welcome. But Milo, I don't even know if you have any questions for Utah. If you do, go ahead.
No, not really. It's more so a thank you, as you know,
Yeah, thank you.
we're gathering today, to just celebrate the past really, and Joe fulfilled a big role. In particular, you know, there was a lot to deal with and a lot to get done, and so on. But yeah, if anything, it's just a thank you. It's not really a question, but to himself, Square, and everyone else that's been a part of this. Particularly in these last 12 months.
Now, I was gonna make a joke, and take it as a joke as you will, but I was gonna make a joke and say, so since we're celebrating the past, are we celebrating me deleting the server? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I'm just kidding. But no, either way, congratulations on what you've done for this league, though, Utah. Definitely good luck in this race for sure. I don't think you guys kind of were happy with that joke, but either way, either way, good luck in the race, Utah.
Thanks.
And yeah, thank you for what you've done for this league as owner,
You too.
and even admin too when you were admin. And we'll let you go.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one.
Well, either way, I'm joined by Joseph F1 Milo Gaming. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Obviously, it's been an absolutely mental day. It's still going on as we speak. And there's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
some very unhappy men in Mercedes camp. But we're here to just enjoy Formula One. Here to enjoy the past of ARL, SRS, where it all began really. F1 2019, a game that we all enjoyed. I absolutely loved racing on this game, and obviously I started commentating back on this game as well, so brings back a lot of memories. And I did the first of the 2 races yesterday, and to be honest, it was quite hard to get used to. It's a massive transition, and that's what makes it so fun.
Hey, I mean, bringing back the past, bringing back what's going on. I mean, I won't make any shitty jokes like that again, though. That was horrible. But either way, yeah, let's kind of talk about some things with the league, though, quickly before we
Absolutely.
ow, what's going on with my sock? Oh, that hurt. But no, let's talk about some things from previous seasons and stuff like that. Since we are talking about the past, before we do get started and talking about what some of these drivers have done in this league in their history. Either way, Milo, you came into this league at race 5. I asked you to commentate. I saw you commentating over in the other leagues with some of the people in this league at the time. And I said, you know what? I need a co-commentator. I can't do this alone. Let's get you. And I got you. And decided to commentate. And you've been here ever since. And this is how it's been.
Absolutely. To be honest, your call up was like quite significant for me, because at the
Yeah.
time I believe I was doing what, HLFR and what, DRS
Yeah,
at
that's
the
right.
time, like brilliant leagues at the time. They were so fun, and then you called me up. You had a great little project going, I was seeing, and everyone was really into your league, and I was like, yeah, I'm quite happy doing a Sunday league, and it's been part of what's motivated me, speech, to continue. And yeah, here we are today. I'm still, I like to consider myself as an aspiring commentator in that sense for real life motorsport. Whether it will happen or not, I've got to pursue something in the right way. So
Right.
it was significant, and I really enjoyed season 1, season 2, season 3. Obviously all went and changed since then, but 5 seasons of a league, been here pretty much near enough since the beginning, and that was all the way back in late 2019, early 2020. So it's been a long time,
Long
and
ago.
to be able to look back on that now, yeah, very grateful for it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember just starting this league up and thinking like, oh, I just want to prove to myself that I can actually own a league and not, have it die within like a certain amount of time. And I was able to do that and look at the community that's grown because of 2 years ago and everything else that had happened. I mean, obviously COVID hitting definitely helped the league grow with people not, doing much and having the extra time that they did. That helped. Obviously, once things went back to normal, things changed and league grew. League also had a decline a little bit from even both sides. It hit a little bit of a decline with even me as owner, even Square as owner, even both sides. It hit a little bit of a decline, and that's the way it was. I mean, the whole pandemic had set everything up to the point where, you know, people weren't that busy anymore, and that's the way things worked out, and the league grown. I mean, insanely amount though. I mean, look at where we are now. I mean, I can't think of, besides maybe one or two other times, I can't think of a time where this league and this community has came together the way it has, even with people saying what they have and having their opinions on the league or even league racing or whatever it may be. This league has came together for one final time this year, and maybe one final time with some of these drivers racing together, because we've all came together to witness one final event here at SRS. I mean, they said there should be more social races with XPillow and the admins, but this probably could possibly be my final time commentating this league, you know, and who knows, it could be my final time commentating with you. We don't know. The future, there's a lot that will go on after this, but this is like one final time, and like it had been what, a year since me and you had commentated. It's like we're all getting it back together and we're all reuniting, I guess, in a way, but who knows what things will look like after this.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope we do more of these. Obviously, people have requested certain other scenarios, maybe with F1 2019 and with F2 cars and stuff like that. So, you know, who knows? It's just, you know, if the league is shutting down and admins go off and do their thing, then you've almost got to treat it like a community. Let people make their own decisions. Let people set their own thing up. And I'm going to reference Gogglesaw here, because he actually thought of an idea like this where people can start their own stuff say in the server, and maybe I hope SRS stays that way, and so, you know, people still have that sort of thing. But yeah, if, you know, it has been a whole year since I've commentated with you, and to be honest, like, it doesn't feel like I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
it's just very odd. We're sat here on a 2-year-old game, commentating on like a year-old scenario. It's not really making sense to me. Nor what is making sense to me is the weather. It's a full wet race.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, that says a lot. I mean, well, I will say, like, whenever I'll use a personal life scenario, and I'm not trying to bring my personal life into this, but like whenever, like, I kind of reference it and I can kind of compare it in a way, but whenever, like, me and my ex-girlfriend had split ways, like, I was all left confused and lost, and like right now I enter this event, and I think commentating with you, I'm like, I'm confused and lost at the same time. Like, it don't feel right, and that's the way that scenario felt. It don't feel right. Both don't feel right. It's been so long. So much has changed, even in league racing. You know, we were here about a year ago on F1 2020, ending season 3, thinking, oh my god, we're going in season 4 tiers possibly. And then everything hit the fan. We know what happened. I mean, I don't need to repeat it. You get the point. And nice lap by XPillow. 1-1-1-1-1. That's quite interesting. But I thought I'd point that out. But no, continuing. Everything hit the fan. Everything changed. The stuff with Limitless happened. TSRL shut down. Even you have people cheating on the F1 games now. Like, there's so much that have happened in the last 12 months, to just recap it. And I think, what's this come to? What's happened? Because, you know, it's not, I wouldn't want to say it's not even league racing anymore, but it's not even the same anymore, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to say it's not even league racing anymore, but it's definitely just not the same anymore. Not the same feel, not the same drivers, and so much has happened since then, to the point where I don't even know where to start or what to say.
No, me neither. And you reference all the changes in league racing. It's basically one of the reasons why we're here today. Like, people look back on this game and games prior, going, yeah, this was the good shit. Sorry for the language, but
No, you're good. I don't care.
I think it's accurate to what people think.
It is.
And yeah, again, reinforcing why it's just a great day, really.
It is. Well, I'm glad to see the community come together, because I can only remember, obviously, when the league first shut down and then this, but besides that, I can only remember one time when this league and really the F1 community as a whole came together. And you might know where I'm going with this. About a year ago, when William Singer had passed away, this league came together and paid their tributes. I don't remember not one driver doing at least something to honor him, and not even just, or even just the league racing community. I don't remember not one person not doing anything to, you know, to honor him. But I'm sorry, I was struggling with my words there. But the thing is, that's another time when this league came together. Jack had won his first race. He came second in the ABS championship. That was very cool to see him winning his first race in that fashion, and especially with all the circumstances too. A Scottish driver in Tier 2, Silent, he won the next week, and then in Tier 1, Speedy Midget won as well. So I mean, there's a lot that goes on, and there's a lot that you could say, oh well, that's ironic, that's cool to see, and that's a coincidence or whatever. But I'd really, besides obviously today, and when the league had first shut down, and when that announcement was made, that's the only other time I can remember this league came together like that. And it's awesome to see people come together and be able to talk about whatever it is, and the league actually feel like it's a family or something like that, or, you know, people who are good friends and stuff like that. And I think it is starting to rain.
Yeah. It is starting to rain, and yeah, drivers are already struggling, so I won't be surprised if drivers cut this qualifying session short a bit, so I'm going to speed up. But yeah, what you said about William Singer, that was obviously very powerful, that ABS, ARL at the time, you know, just reflected, and yeah, and obviously it's a year gone by, and obviously,
Where are we now?
yeah, obviously we know some of the yeah, I'm not going to go into it, but there's a reason we need to talk about this sort of stuff, and
Right. Definitely. I agree.
yeah, I'm not going to go any further than that. I think that's for another day. Yeah.
Yeah, that is for another day. But I agree. I agree completely, and I think it's important to highlight things like that.
Also, you did mention Jack in that.
Happy birthday.
Yes, it is his birthday. So happy birthday to Jack Lilly. He's definitely not watching this.
How old is he? 12? I'm kidding.
12.
I'm kidding. 16 now. 16, he's 16. He's 16. Yeah. I'm kidding. If Jack is out there, happy birthday to you.
So, you know, we
gradually that's what I mean.
Like the league racing stuff.
Yeah.
But for others, it's
so
a route into greater success. Like we've seen, just as an example, LMG, he'll be doing challenges in the new year. Great friend of ours still. You know, Jack Lilly still popping off in karting and so on. He's got a great future in front of him, and I know many commentators that have used league racing as their platform, and it's just great that we're here as Sam Steed misses turn 6 completely.
I think he did that qualifying like 5 seasons ago, but no, I mean that's just how much I remember. Some things I remember better than others, but no, it's definitely worth pointing out. And I mean, if you don't think you can get to the top and you're one of the lower points when it comes to tiers and stuff like that, look at FH. FH in this league was Tier 2 in Season 4, and now he's able to run for SRC, and running around the track is Sam Steed into the wall. But no, FH is a great example of this. He was Tier 2, and he ended up making it to FRT, and he's in SRC now, and he's challenging for wins and stuff like that. Gorgon in FRT, he was in PSR. He was at the lower end of Tier 1. I mean, you can do it from anywhere, and drivers struggling out there, so I think we're going to go over some people and reflect on their careers in this league quickly. Raptor, who's around at Turn 1, actually raced in the first ever preseason event here. He's had some interesting moments in this league, some where he shined, some not so much. I mean, I remember his famous Belgium crash, Season 4, that people talk about. Him also flipping at Silverstone too.
Can't hate Raptor.
Some of his better moments though are his 2 wins from Season 3 with Japan and Bahrain. Started off the season very well, looked like a championship contender, but just wasn't able to complete it. Wasn't able to really do well there. V2 Combat is somebody else as well who's done really well in this league. He's going to retire, but V2's done really well in this league. I don't think he really was able to get what we expected out of him. And did he ever win a race, Milo?
V2 Combat. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Try
so
and
either,
chase
but
down
he might have been on
somebody,
podium a couple of times.
Yeah.
Dark Raptor, almost upside down there too.
I'd say about V2 Combat, still a very consistent driver even today, particularly in ABS, which I've commentated for the most part this season, so yeah,
Yeah.
he's still doing well for himself, V2 Combat. Only F1 driver still to retire. You actually holds everyone up 6 minutes.
I will laugh. Either way, speaking about F1 driver, we'll talk about him for a moment. I mean, he's been in this league since Season 1, and on his first start, he, I think, won the race in Belgium. And him and Polo were contending for the Constructors' title in Season 5. F1 driver, I don't think he won a race in Season 5, but many podiums to his name. Many wins. I think most wins in this league at Italy. So he's got to be proud of that. He's been a big part of this league as an admin and even as an owner at one point. F1 driver, big part of this league, and I think we'll have to see where else he goes. I still watch what he does in RPL. I still watch over there, so I know I'll be tuning into him. Sam Steed joined this league from the start, was in Tier 1, got down to Tier 2, then back to Tier 1 again at Season 5. He had a couple podiums to his name, I want to say. Yes, he had a couple podiums to his name. I think he also, am I correct in this, Milo? He won a race in Season 3, Tier 2? My brain is forgetting to remember, but...
Yeah, I honestly can tell you. I don't know the results, really.
He could at least say he won a race, I'm pretty sure. And Polo God, he's another driver I'm going to go over as well. Polo, it took him a while to get a win. He was known as the Irish Bottle Job, but he has some history with Aaron that he was able to get. Both them on podiums, which was good. Both of them got to race each other in the same tier. Polo, many podiums to his name. A second in the championship in Season 3. He was glad to have that to his name. A maiden win in Italy, and that's really about it. That was his biggest highlight. But in qualifying, it's F1 driver, X-Polo, 3,000 separating them. Then it's Pluto, Sam, Goggle Saw, the top 5. And then names back there, Polo, Atlantis, V2, all back there. I'm surprised about that one. But Milo, how about you go over... I spoke with Joe about his SRS career, but why don't you go over people like Medvesget and Maddie?
I believe Medvesget is Simon. He has been a Tier 2 driver for this season, but I believe last season he was within Tier 4. And honestly, he's a great person. You know, he's not caused a single bit of trouble, and if he has, he's apologised for it and done the right things about it. He's been a great asset, and obviously the league and community need more drivers like him, and Matty as well. He is in the Twitch chat, I believe. At least he put something in, and I'm trying to think. He might be able to tell us, but I think he was a friend of Graham, and that just kind of came about. He joined again, was not caused us any trouble. Been a great person to have around in the server and so on. So yeah, the pair of them can obviously they haven't seen the full extremities of the league, but they've been a great part of this past 12 months, that's for sure. Yeah, I believe he's at AFK or something, or
might be.
He's doing something else.
Doing something. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Well, Mercedes has lodged an intention to appeal. We'll figure that out later. The last driver I didn't really talk about. Yeah, again, I think.
Oh, just give it a rest, please.
I know. At least to the FIA if you're gonna do anything. But no, I mean that's the real people that should be protesting, the FIA. But Atlantis is the last person I want to go over. Honestly, he's been in the league since the start too. he had that famous podium for a couple hours at Italy, until that got taken away after appeals. Oh my God, there goes Raptor off again.
What's new?
On the formation lap. But yeah, Atlantis, couple podiums, I want to say. I think 1 in Tier 1. Did he ever get 1 in Tier 1? I don't remember. But if he did, it was probably Italy. And Season 3, he ended up being demoted to Tier 2 and did really well in that season to the point where he beat his teammate for the championship, Matty. And that was a wonderful season for sure. He was on and off as Jab's teammate, but he can say he's technically won 2 Constructors Championships. So at least that's a stat to brag about, stat to have as we come to a full wet race. I mean, I remember this from F1 2019 with Season 2. This is just flashbacks to that, where Atlantis was on for a podium in that race too. That's what that reminds me of. Renault was on for podiums as well with V2 during Season 3 in races like these where it was wet. But the 5 red lights, Milo, they're coming on pretty soon. And we're about to get this Grand Prix started. We'll have to see if F1 driver's there or not, but we're stuck on the second red light.
Oh, it's
now we're lights out.
Oh!
Oh, they ran into F1 driver at the start. F1 driver wasn't able to get going, and the McLaren just ran into him. But it's a Red Bull 1-2 heading into turn 1. Sam has gotten a great advantage to the point where he's caught X-Pillow. And at the back, I think there might be some sort of collision. That's just F1 driver still stopped, and he's not going to be able to get going as we head to turn 2. All a bunch of spray. The 2 racing points running nose to tail to each other. You also have X-Pillow and Sam, the front 2, and there's contact. F1 driver, though, has been disqualified.
Yeah, he has. There was contact between the 2 McLarens there. Pluto getting past Matty, who had a fantastic start. Another person who had a fantastic start. Sam Steed is Expelo. He runs deep into the hairpin. This is Sam Steed's opportunity on the exit of turn 6, but he's not really a risk taker. Further back, and Polo God has spun around.
That's the second time in this league that he's collided at the hairpin on the first lap. You remember back to Season 1 where he got flew in the air by NFC Ryan. No, not Matty. He spun around as well. It's tricky conditions at the start of this race, just like 2019 in real life with the German Grand Prix. It's been horrible from some people. The Racing Point as well. Medvedev, he's got damage. The Ferrari, he's got damage of Matty. And I think as well, Raptor Atlantis, one of the 2 Toro Rossos I thought had damage. Raptor, no, he's clean. Never mind.
QBR 20 Joe now, of course, in TRT, carrying the back of Atlantis. But yeah, great first lap from Expelo. 2 seconds. Well, now it's saying 1. Now back up to 2. Yep, this game, Codemasters Classic. But Pluto has come into the pits on this opening lap. He must have some damage or something, because this definitely isn't scheduled. No, just onto another set of wet tyres. Oh no, he didn't change his wing.
Atlantis is down the inside of Bulgogi. They're going to go wheel to wheel right before this back straight. No DRS considering it's a wet race, but Bulgogi overcorrects it almost right into Atlantis, and they were both lucky to stay in this race, but Atlantis is going to be ahead for 4th position right now, and I'm just thinking to myself, the difference between the wet in this game to F1 2021, where this game, it looks like it's just so much easier to race, and there's a McLaren around. That's Goggle Saw.
Yeah, disaster for the McLarens. Pluto came into the pits. He did have front wing damage, but he must have forgot the auto sort of yes option. Because I remember back in this game, the game was very indecisive of what it wanted to do with your wing on the auto mode. So yeah, Pluto has fallen victim of that already, which is a shame. He's got a long way to come back into this. He'll need a safety car or something, because they are, of course, enabled, but Expelo 4-second lead after 2 laps of 17 in this typically wet German Grand Prix.
V2 Combat was able to get ahead of Raptor there, and he's right next to his teammate QBR20 Joe. QBR20 Joe, that was one of his first cars in this league. It was the Renault. But yeah, Lannis, Goggy, they were pretty close for the time being before, until Lannis was able to pull out a second. And what I was saying about F1 2021 is Pluto comes into the pits once again. What I was saying about F1 2021 compared to this game is that's Joe off the track, and he's going to have to re-enter in a safe manner. He's going to enter right in front of V2, but V2's got the advantage. He's going to go by, and Raptor's also contending right here as well. This is for 5th place, and Pluto is going to come out behind the Racing Point and behind the Alfa Romeo.
Oh, and Joe sends it on the inside to V2 Combat. He's gone miles deep into turn 6, and he's going to rejoin just behind V2 Combat. That was very audacious, and yeah, he's definitely got caught out there by the
Whoa!
braking
Whoa,
Raptor!
Raptor!
Oh.
And Joe! And into V2! Joe's gone into V2, Raptor's gone off, but both of them are all kept straight somehow and kept going, but there is damage for a couple of cars in this train. I'm pretty sure Joe and Raptor got the worst end of that, and V2, who's now almost getting overtaken by Gogglesaw here. V2 was just an innocent bystander. Joe lost the car, went into V2, and Raptor, like, simultaneously both spawned, it seemed, at that right-hander after the hairpin. I don't know what turn that is, but I'm going to assume... No, they're going to stay out? Okay. This Explo takes the fastest lap.
Yeah, this train, excuse me, still going on. Oh, no, it isn't V2 Combat! Has he kept it out of the wall? Yes, he has! Whoa, and Raptor, and then Matty trying to find a way past the stricken Renault there as Joe runs deep into turn 2 once again, and there's Raptor around the outside through 3, now onto turn 4, now turn 5, the Parabolica. This could well be 3 wide, this V2 Combat is there to bounce, but it looks like Joe is just going to hold it into the hairpin.
As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by the great racing here. There's a Renault off the track, a Toro Rosso off the track, 3 wide for a moment. As I was saying, this seems so much better than F1 2021 wet racing. Can we just go to 2019 for each wet race? And Raptor's not going to want to go to F1 2019 again in the wet, as he is in the wall, and he is only able to get a little bit of damage. Oh, yeah, he got some damage. Not too much. He's lucky to be still in this race, though.
Yeah, of course, it is reduced damage, so he's not taking a bigger whack than he usually would, but...
Oh!
What's happened there?
Joe into the gravel right there. I mean, I think a lot of people are getting caught out by the braking on this game. That's for sure.
Joe is struggling significantly, and he's going to come into the pits as well. But yeah, Raptor, who smashed those Pirelli advertising hoardings, so might need a red flag for that to get those fixed. Michael Massey on the phone.
I'm surprised Renault aren't emailing Massey, but has this been the crossover period? Because Joe is on inners. Remember, after 2021 and this game is completely different on the whole strategy with inters, wets, and everything else. And this reminds me of Season 1. Atlantis and Sam both were battling for a podium, or what would have been a podium in this race. Sam and Atlantis. Oh! Atlantis hits the back of him! Atlantis! Oh, and he has to make sure that he doesn't go by Sam there, or else Atlantis would have been criticized for that one heavily, as Atlantis is going to try again on Sam. Sam really struggling. He's 10+ seconds behind Explo, but stays ahead.
Yeah, James, we know you're big, but you're not that big to start hitting people off the track. He's only a young lad from Portsmouth. Give it a rest.
Well, is it inner time? Because their last 3 cars are on inners.
Atlantis
has anybody noticed that too?
But he's not pitted. It's Spilo, I don't think he cares at this point, considering he leads by 14.2 seconds. That is pretty much Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton levels of dominance combined in this one. Incredible stuff, but he knows the F1 games inside out, to be honest. Not that that's a bad thing, of course. But here goes Atlantis again. He's getting onto the hot
He's got damage as well.
Does have damage, but it's not going to stop him blasting past the Red Bull sister team, obviously in the AlphaTauri versus not AlphaTauri, Toro Rosso. Sorry, I'm still living in 2021. I should be living in 2019 this evening.
Well, we wouldn't have a pandemic if we were living in 2019, but either way, Atlantis, with the damage as well, it's got by Sam. Sam is really struggling, though. I don't know. He avoided the chaos at the start, but he's just not able to keep pace. And Atlantis goes off the racetrack. Sam is trying to take advantage of this one, and he has another corner to maybe take advantage of it, but just can't do so. Atlantis still with the damage. It's affecting him, but clearly not enough for Sam to overtake him. And behind that, Maddie is also on V2 for 6th place in this race, trying to look for a way by. And I'm looking to see if these inners have been much of an improvement. Honestly, I really don't see much of an improvement.
Yeah, but Sam Steed is diving in, and he's got a fully intact front wing, so this is definitely strategical. It's not got a lot to lose. I mean, no one has anything to lose in this sort of race. But Sam Steed, in he goes. Is it for the green wall intermediates? Yes, it is. On they go.
Now, where will Sam come out compared to everybody else here? He's looking to come out around 7th place here. He's going to be far behind. But if X-Blow and all them pits, is Sam going to be in the best position?
See how the pace holds up, so we'll keep a close eye on that. Perhaps a retrospective, to Matty in front of him. 6.6 behind at the moment. Doesn't look easy, but the rain has certainly got lighter. So we'll see how this works out for Sam Steed. Blue Goggy inherits 3rd.
Well, for now, Veskev keeping 8th. Pluto going ahead for the time being. Pluto, a pretty easy overtake from him. Pluto, I will say, one of the better drivers in this league in the wet conditions. I mean, he's had many, many good qualifyings, many good results from wet races. He won by at least 10 seconds. And that wet race at Austria, I remember, the changing conditions in Tier 2 back in Season 2. Pluto also had a great qualifying in Italy in Season 5 as Veskev off the track. But, yeah, Pluto also had that amazing qualifying at Italy as well. That was, I remember you posted about that, Milo. That was switching back positions non-stop between Axe, Pluto, and I believe F1 Driver was involved in that too.
Absolutely. Oh, we have a yellow flag on the circuit. Is it for Raptor? Of course. But the thing is about Raptor, he doesn't give up. He'll just keep going for as long as it takes him to remove a wheel. So that's the great thing about Raptor. Matty comes into the pits. Obviously, he's been jumped by Sam Steed, who's now 8 seconds behind V2 Combat, and that is starting just to close a little bit. So maybe intermediates are what you want to be on, but Expedilo has a whole pit stop on the fatty in second.
Well, the thing I wonder with what Sam has done, though, is even if X-Below pits, and, like, let's just say 2 or 3 laps from now, is the inners, you know, going to be enough to catch anyway? Or if X-Below doesn't pit at all, is it enough to catch? We'll have to find out. X-Below staying out once again. Goggle Saw goes by V2 Combat. That's for 4th place in this race. Pluto by Maddie as well. They're side by side at the hairpin. Pluto's going to get the advantage in this one, but Pluto's on the wet tire while Maddie on the inners, and Sam's gap to V2 is closing rapidly, but maybe not as rapidly as you'd think, I'd say.
Yeah, and as well, Goggle has been battling with V2 Combat, so that might have held him up slightly, but it's certainly right on the crossover. Yeah. Does Atlantis and Blue Goggy come in?
Yeah, so obviously 20 seconds behind, but they have to try something. They have to try something in order to possibly find a way. And V2, he's got to try something too. He might be staying up for a little bit longer. 30 seconds now, that gap between the race lead.
Yeah, it is. And Sam Steed is back up to 3rd. He will get back that P2, and it'll probably be about 16 or so seconds behind Expelo when he comes into the pits. He doesn't need to come into the pits, to be honest, although those wet tyres could very easily overheat if the track temperatures aren't suited.
I don't know how likely a puncture is in this game, but you never know.
I know the soft tyres are very bad, particularly around here.
Oh, Pluto!
Nightmare. Oh no.
Pluto almost hit the back of his teammate right there under the hairpin. He's on the wet tire, and he's going to lose a position to Atlantis and possibly to Maddie right here. Nope, not yet, but Expelo is going to be coming in, and I'd assume that'd be for the intermediate tire. Yes, it is. He's still going to have the lead over this, and he's led every single lap in this race.
Might as well lap the whole field at this point, but look at this. Atlantis versus Gogglesaw. This is going to be a very, very feisty battle. That is for sure. Both now on fresh intermediate tyres as they go towards Stack's Curve, where Sebastian Vettel agonisingly crashed. There could be some form of contact here as the Toro Rosso chases down a McLaren Renault.
Funny enough, because this was Atlantis' first car in this league. A lot of people using their first car that they race in this league. Atlantis, Sam, V2, many others as well. But here comes Atlantis once again off of turn 1. He's got the traction to possibly go down the inside of turn 2. They make contact.
Atlantis sends it into 2. Gogglesaw's gonna try the switchback, and then he's gonna go around the outside into turn 4. Brilliant stuff between the pair of them, but Gogglesaw is certainly going to squeeze Atlantis right up to the apex, giving him nowhere to go. But the outside, it was again they touch, going into turn 6.
Almost similar to Danny Sketta and JSC Graham, just the other way around, and Gogglesaw goes into him. They've collided. Gogglesaw sideways off of the hairpin.
Oh, it's a double overtake from the Ferrari. Oh no, it's short-lived. Atlantis back up the inside, Matty to the outside. Wow.
While all that was happening, Polo God took the fastest lap, and Atlantis somehow was gonna go ahead right there. Goggle, though, I'm pretty sure he has got damage right there. It would be on that right side. Yeah, he's got damage. And Atlantis somehow doesn't though. Both of them went into one another. V2, you have to pit in this race. 10 lap on the wets. He stayed out, and right now he maintains the podium spot. It would go to Sam and Gagi, though, if V2 does end up losing it or pitting.
Yeah, first crack. Brilliant. I'm good at those. Sam Steed, 8 test time V2 combat, and yeah, this should be an easy overtake. V2 combat, it doesn't look like he wants to pit in this race. He could actually get away with staying out, but surely as time goes on, the wets will just get slower and slower. So Blue Goggy's got a chase for the podium here. He's got a comfortable gap to Gogglesaw and Atlantis, and Matty is back, comes Atlantis for more, but he's just not close enough on this occasion. But
well, he is right there!
Atlantis somehow runs even deeper.
Oh my god. Well, Gogglesaw also had to brake earlier because of the damage, and this could allow an opportunity for Atlantis to possibly go for another overtake, as he might choose the left side. This time down the inside comes Atlantis on one of his rivals. There's Atlantis going through. That's for 5th place.
We'll get the lawyers on that one. There was definitely contact at turn 6, so therefore, retrospectively, you've got to move the race to conclude on lap 11.
Oh, he's gonna go into the back of him again. Oh my god. Might need some more lawyers for that one too. Well, I think someone's got to have a lawyer on that Renault of Joe. He's struggled, and Pluto had gone by right there too. Joe on probably the most worn intermediates in this lobby, and there's a yellow flag. Is that Raptor? That is Raptor.
And the yellow flag shows on the wrong part of the track. That was always a thing around here at Hockenheim. 12th time around, Atlantis.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Is he just teleported onto the other side of the track?
I don't know. I think he's about to get... Well, he's already lapped. He's about to get lapped by the racing point, so...
He spun so... Oh, Gogglesaw! Ascend at the century!
And he almost lost it just like he did to an Atlantis into Matty right there, but he was lucky enough not to hit him that time. Atlantis goes through, Matty looking to go through. Matty's going to have to try some other way around him, but he just can't do so right there. And considering Gogglesaw's damage, I mean, if Gogglesaw makes a big enough mistake in Sector 3, Matty could go by. A big mistake right there for Gogglesaw going off the track, but not enough to let Matty by.
And
yellow flag.
Raptor at Sachs. But Sam Steed, he was about as close as a 10th on the back of V2 Combat. He's dropped back a bit. He's got plenty of VRS, Sam. I don't think he's taking much risks with the kind of unknown sort of deployment that everyone is completely lost from their muscle memory since the previous 2 games, obviously, but Sam Steed a lot of grip around turn 2 through turn 3 and 4. Now is onto the overtake. Mode 4, of course, quickest at high speed.
Forgot to mention that Pluto pitted. He got the fastest lap, actually, right there. Maddie is still close to Goggle, too, while all this is happening.
Here goes
Two
Sam
battles
Steed.
at once.
Had to look
This is
through turn
inners.
6.
Versus Wets. Yeah, not much there. Goggle Saw getting overtaken by Maddie, but Goggle Saw is going to come right back at it around the outside. Can't do nothing there, but maybe on corner exit. Nope. Sam is got by V2. V2 really struggling now, I think.
Oh, Sam Steed just got V2 Combat, yeah, by about a second, as V2 Combat must have made an error there as well. Matty runs a bit deep, Gogglesaw's going to come back, there's a really small gap to squeeze through, it turns into the outside at turn 10, and they're going to go wheel to wheel in towards turn 11, but Gogglesaw edges in front again. Great battle.
Yeah, but I've noticed right there in that corner, you gotta stay single file right there, and if you don't, I mean, you're almost gonna be ending up in a collision. But yeah, this track, the closest thing to it with some of the racing, I think on the F1 2021 game, the closest thing to it out of the new tracks is definitely Portimao. I think that's at least the closest thing to it in my opinion. I know that sounds really dumb to say in a way, but it's the closest match you'll possibly get to a Germany-related track again. There was a league race I commentated in Portimao about 3 months ago, I want to say, 2-3 months ago, and it had some of the best racing, and it had some of racing like we had here, just in the dry, and it reminds me of it right now. But what it reminds me of is that Maddie is going to overtake Gogglesaw right here for 6th place once again, and look who's creeping up on this battle. That's
again.
Polo.
He actually gets it slowed down, but the switchback is so powerful at that corner. Just has nothing to answer for it, and this invites Polo got in as well for P7. We've not really spoke about him much in this one.
It's the car he got his first win with.
Oh!
It's the car he's trying to challenge Gogglesaw with. Oh, man. And this battle is slowly going to invite Pluto to maybe be that 4th car in this train. But, oh! Right into the back of Maddie, and that sent him around.
And Polo takes both of them.
Oh my god. Unbelievable. Well, we've not really focused on the front, but Goggy is catching V2, who's on the inners, and Goggy might have his chance right here, I think. Goggy is sending it down the inside.
Goes straight through it and jumps up into the air. Okay, not gonna question.
Pluto's also got by Gogglesaw in the time being, but right now it's Goggy on the podium and the Red Bulls 1-2, 35 seconds from Expolo. You know, this is just like, I think, Chungus's gap that he had in Singapore the one time. But there's a yellow flag. That's Joe off. And V2 and Goggy at the hairpin. There was definitely contact made right there. But Goggy back ahead.
He is. And can he get after Sam Steed in the remaining 2 laps or so? Unlikely, but we'll see. Raptor finally retired. It only took him 16 laps to take the wheels off the thing, but
well,
it just means
I
to
don't know
stay
if they're
there
gonna
for the reverse race.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's what I mean. I don't know if they're going to do the reverse just like yesterday with Burning Man, but as of right now, if they're not going to do it that way, Joe's on pole.
Yeah.
I feel like when I'm calling Joe instead of Utile now, I feel like I'm talking about Guan Yu Joe. You know, it feels weird. But
race
hey, I
purchase.
mean, yeah, right?
Pastry better.
Agreed. Deserves Formula 1 seat over him. But
Agreed.
speaking of that, the Alfa Romeo is Polo God. That Alfa Romeo will be Guan Yu Zhou in Formula 1 in 2022. And in that train, Polo God is Polo. And they're slightly catching up to Atlantis, who's slightly catching up for V2. And this could possibly be for 4th in this race. Polo is ahead of Pluto for now. Pluto has more ERS than Polo, Polo with barely any, and side by side right there at the hairpin, wheel to wheel. Polo is going to stay ahead. Explo taking the last lap, taking the fastest lap, and Goggle Saw off the racetrack, and Maddie goes ahead once again, but Goggle Saw re-enters, and it's still side by side, and it's going to be Maddie who's going to go ahead.
Absolutely. Gogglesaw just sending it every possible opportunity. He's going to do it again as Matty runs wide. He's going to go to the outside. Matty gets pinched. Goodness
And
me.
Atlantis has hit the back of V2,
Whoa.
and V2 and Atlantis are side by side in the
What a
stadium
move.
section. Atlantis, wow!
It was on V2 Combat, who is on the wet tyres, but going around the outside at turn 12. Fair play to him.
And you can see the
Polo
wets struggling.
got nudging and
Wow.
getting through as well. And Pluto is on his way. Pluto on his way. Oh, I thought maybe for a moment not into turn 1,
Pluto and
surely.
V2 have history, by the
Polo,
way.
you bottle job.
Oh no!
Oh.
My god, that's funny. Polo is chance. I mean, he's just gonna hope for a reverse grid pull at this point. That's what he could go for, and Maddie is down the inside of Goggle again.
I believe Expedo is rounded the final corner as we speak.
Correct.
And the checkered flag is there for Expedo, who takes the
Once
fastest lap
again.
as well. I mean, Joe has also finished the race because he got lapped 40
And
seconds
he
on
will
top
get reverse
speed,
grid
but
pole.
the battles resume. Goggles
Saw. Send it. And Maddie goes through. Polo got out. But he's going to stay 10th, though.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do about reverse grid pole now. Or reverse grid front row. And Pluto loses the rear end. And his chance at Atlantis is possibly over. But rounding the final sections of the track, that's how far Sam Steed's behind. 41 seconds. 41 seconds in a 17-lap race behind his Red Bull teammate. Sam Steed completes the podium with Blue Goggy. But behind that, Pluto's caught Atlantis. Pluto in the McLaren, Atlantis in the Toro Rosso, and it's going to be Atlantis for 4th place. You're a Tier 2 champion right there from seasons ago. So what are they going to do about Polo now? Because he DNF'd. And from Joe upwards, they get reversed. Is Polo going to get reversed too? Or that's a hard situation right there.
I'm
What
not
will they
sure.
do?
Maybe Polo got
I'd like to
just
see
be
him get
honest
reversed.
and say what he wants to happen, maybe. There's definitely going to be a bit of negotiation. It's almost like the deal or no deal at bloody Saudi Arabia, but...
This is like every F1 race scenario just highlighted. But yeah, Expolo, good job to him on that.
Yeah.
We want to try to get quick interviews in.
We could do. But I don't want to say
Top
one
3.
thing. F1 driver sadly ruined the chance for a race there because that took off Pluto's front wing. He had to stop. The wing didn't change. He had to stop again. He was 2 pit stops behind. Yeah, and obviously he had to make his way through the order, which was obviously entertainment to him.
By the way, I just want to point out V2 on wets had a faster lap than Raptor on his best lap in inners.
Jesus
And V2
Christ.
didn't pit that time. V2 didn't, and he still managed to finish 6th. So that's still impressive with no pit stop, considering the conditions got better. F1 driver though, he's gonna be at the back for this one too. He qualified on pole for the first one, so can he? He's gonna be right back there with Explo. So I think it's fair game for him. And yeah, let's try to get Explo, Sam, and we'll get Goggy in here. Podium. For those
I have
guys.
to say, those wet tyres are about 7-8 seconds a lap slower than the intermediates. So, not wise, I think, for V2 Combat.
What?
What did you say?
I don't even know what he said.
Oh dear. Your voice is deepened, Sam. I'm so proud
Yeah,
of you.
I'm just gonna mention
Yes, I'm actually so happy. His voice is deepened.
the day has finally come.
Thank you.
But
I'm still
we'll
waiting
speak
for
with
that
Sam.
day.
Oh,
We'll speak with Sam first. Sam, 2nd place, 41 seconds behind your teammate. Talk us through that little race there.
Dry setup on a completely wet race. I had no speed. I got a bit of confidence at the end, but it wasn't right, but I just wanted to have a bit of fun, and hopefully the next race will be dry because that was hard in the
I'd
first
like to
few
see a
laps.
dry race.
Yeah, it'll be
Someone
fun as well
chuck it on
starting from the
dry.
back. But it was a lot quicker than me. Probably in the dry anyway. But I wasn't quick enough.
Well, make sure your audio is included. Obviously, we mentioned earlier with the drivers about the league's history, the league's memories, and things you'll remember, things you'll miss, whatever. Kind of talk us through quickly about some of the memories, some of the things you want to say, and some of the things you'll miss from this league.
Season 3, Italy. What a race. That was awful, but then also good. There were many good races. Season 2 was a good season. It was on a good game for once. Being admin was good for a while. And it was a very fun time, but hopefully there can be these sort of social races every now and then here to get the community together, because it certainly deserves it, this league.
I was gonna say, we might need to get the court involved with that one. He said, I was actually back on a good game, but yeah. Thank you for that. Congratulations on your race.
Cheers.
Milo, quickly talk Explo through what his race was like, just all alone. And also make sure your audio is included, Explo.
Yes.
41 seconds in an 18
Yes.
lap race. How?
17.
What have you been? Sorry. What have you been sweating? What have you been smoking? Tell us.
I did 4 laps in the wet yesterday and saved the setup. Did a bit of a hybrid with dry, and then because of the kerfuffle at the line, I just didn't really have any challenge. I had a lot more pace than I thought I would over everyone else, and yeah, I just made sure not to spin, I guess.
I mean, you could have sat there and done laps all evening. We know, but I mean, you've got another race to come. Just talking this game then. Obviously, F1 2019, 2020, and 2021 all have their own characteristics. What's different about this game that you like or maybe don't like?
I like the traction and the mobility you have under traction in terms of turning. I don't like the braking. The braking's a bit It doesn't feel right, it just feels slidey and wrong. Though it does feel more realistic when tires are worn, I'd say.
Well, yeah, I think that just about sums that up. Ryan Ocon, any questions for our dominant, dark, Red Bull destroying winner? That was terrible.
All I gotta say is, I don't know how they'll take that one away from you, or think of getting the court involved. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Either way, I mean, we're just like joking and bashing like the stewards or something, Milo. Like, I'm having fun with this, but
It's really respecting too much.
yeah. Well, we'll talk to Gagi. Obviously, we have Sam's voice who dropped. Gagi's still back where he's at. Gagi, make sure your audio's included. I do want to ask you about that podium. You were contending up there, past V2 late in the race, and got yourself a podium for this social race. Talk us through it.
I mean, it wasn't the most eventful German Grand Prix I'd ever done, but it was.
It was what?
Sorry about that.
Maddie kidnapped him.
I tried very hard not to spin, and there were a few moments in the last 2 corners where I almost span, going off the track a few times. Then I suddenly noticed towards the end that V2 Combat was ahead of me on 13 lap old wets, so I was like, oh okay, all I need to do is just not mess up, and I got a podium, so Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations on that. I also want to mention the same questions I've asked everybody else. I think you know where this is going. Any memories, any history, anything you can look back on this league that you'll miss and that you'll remember?
Um, being the most eventful thing every week. That it was the only thing I was looking forward to at the end of the week. Um, yeah, it was definitely a good. I don't know what I was saying. I'm not very good at these things. It was, of course, getting my first podium in Russia was quite cool. Also, my pole position, which I remember about 6 drivers saying, "Oh, your brother did that for you." You probably remember that. Yeah,
I remember that. I remember that.
I got a DM from I think Fake Fiery saying, "Oh, me and 5 other drivers think your brother was doing that," but yeah. But yeah, he was behind me.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
He was behind me, giving me like tips and stuff. So yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut in there. I was just gonna say I was laughing because this website, Independent, put out an article saying Christian Horner promises Nicholas Latifi a lifetime supply of Red Bull after Abu Dhabi crash. But no, either way, did your brother do the interview too? I'm kidding. Either way, congratulations on that race, Milo. Any questions quickly before we go into this next one?
I'm not gonna have any questions in this short amount of time. But well done to you, Goggy. Pleasure having you in today. Good luck for this second race to the 3 of you. Have fun.
Yeah, we'll let you guys go.
I need to leave quickly. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Should be.
Don't be
Hopefully we'll get
41
to
seconds
speak
behind.
to different drivers and maybe those who
Yeah.
we get an interview after this second race. You know,
Yeah,
we've
we'll
got plenty of time.
We'll see who wants one, but I don't know. Me and Gagi were talking about interesting things about what the track layout looks like before the second race yesterday. What do you think the track layout looks like? What kind of thing does it look like? I want to ask you because we didn't get to ask anybody yesterday about that. What does it look like? You said it looks like a boot or something like that.
Sorry, what was that?
What does the track layout look like? Like Germany. It kind of looks like a boot. He said.
Yeah,
Gagi.
actually, it reminds me of like the Monza sock.
I think like it's similar to well, speaking of Gagi, I think we may have cursed him. But, no, I think maybe we'll get to speak to one different driver this one, but I think it looks like a little bit of like Austria's type of E. Like Austria looks like the letter E. So that's what I think it looks similar to, and a boot, and what you said too. But I don't know if it's just me or not, but like younger Sam Steed sounds like current Blue Goggy. Just unpopular opinion.
I'm so
Just
surprised.
saying
I think he joined our party like the other week and didn't sound that deep. Like he's hit puberty in these last few months or something. I'm like a proud father. Anyway, and
Yeah.
bullying people
Yeah.
for their voice. We do not condone
No, I
that
mean
sort of behaviour.
it's jokes. It's I mean we respect Sam and Blue Goggy.
Of
It's not like
course,
it's something
yeah.
we use against them. So if it were something we used against them as like you're whatever, like that'd be wrong.
Yeah.
But
There are inside jokes in the community.
yeah, definitely. I mean it's something we've joked with Sam and Goggy about before, but I mean it's not like it's something we're using against them. So it's fair. It's not like it's an argument we use against them or anything like that. But hey, this is the reverse grid race. Different choice of tires for some people. I like this. I've really liked this. Some people going with the Graham strategy from yesterday, and some people going with the reverse strategy. You have QBR Joe on pole. Medveskev, Gogglesaw, Maddie, Pluto, the top 5. Then behind that is Atlantis, Blue Goggy, who's not there. He's just Oh, yeah. Well, we forgot he left the session. I would try to get him and invite Milo, but
Yeah.
you have Sam, podium sitter from last one, and Explo down in 9th, so him and F1 driver are somewhat close to each other. We'll have to see how this start goes. Hopefully not the start like last one with that. Apollo God, Raptor, Surfy, and F1 driver complete the grid. But what I will say though is Maddie, Pluto, Sam, Polygod, Surfy, F1 driver, all in the medium tires. Dark Raptor, Explo, Lugagi, Atlantis, Gogolsaw, Medveskev, and Guan Yu, QBR, Joe on the soft tires. I think, you know, we adapted the whole AMS axe, GSR tax kind of whole meme. I think that's a new meme I've kind of adapted with Utile. Guan Yu, sorry, QBR Joe. I think that'll be the meme from this that we take and look over. But either way, drivers getting lined up on the grid. The race is about to start. Out of the 13 drivers in this race, it's split kind of in half between mediums and softs. One mandatory pit stop is supposed to be made in this event. Drivers have to be careful of their surroundings. Get a good start. We'll see how things go. They rev it up for the 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. QBR Joe got a great start, but both McLarens challenging the Ferrari up the line side by side into turn 1.
That was illegal. That's
Definitely a legal overtake for sure. We'll see if that position is given back or not. But Gogolsaw side by side with Joe as we head to turn 2. The Toro Rosso of Atlantis and Pluto are going to go side by side. But at the back, Goggy really, I don't think he's in this race, but we have Surfy who spun at the back as we head to the chaotic and infamous hairpin for the first time this race.
Oh,
Joe up in the air
me.
and has got damage, and they're 3 wide past the hairpin, and the Red Bull darts out. That's Explo up to 5th already.
Atlantis takes the lead, but for how much longer? As Medvesek up the inside, that's not work. Gogolsaw goes Atlantis with contact.
The wrecking Explo's around as well. It's
I blame
Gogolsaw,
Joe.
Atlantis, Pluto, Polo God.
White still kicking off in the background. There's the Renault off the track. That's Raptor. Polo God's
Pluto just
overtaken Pluto. Virtual safety car.
Out of the way right before the virtual safety car. Pluto's not going to be happy with this one, and Polo God will pit. Don't know if he has damage. So will QBR20 Joe. He definitely has damage. And Explo, it's going to be hard for him to win this one, but with the pace he showed in the first one, he can definitely do it.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Because the way this race is looking like it's going to be, it looks like it's going to be a dirty one. Polo got onto the hards. You could probably take mediums, and mediums are a very good race tyre, unlike the soft. So, yeah, maybe Joe and Expilo thankful that they're off the softs. But, I mean, Joe, did he retaliate quite a bit there? Like, he just sent it into turn 6.
I don't know, but we're back to green flag racing, and here comes Pluto on Atlantis. Can't make a move out of that hairpin. He's not close enough. And Atlantis and Gogolsaw, the front 2 are on soft tires. Everybody back to 7th on the mediums. And you have F1 driver right behind Maddie, who is challenging right here. And it just seems like Polo God as well. I don't know if he meant to go to the hards or not, but his luck, yeah, it's nowhere. And that was proven in F1 2019 as well. As at the back, that's Raptor having to go up the track right behind Surfy. This is for 7th place. But in front of that, it's F1 driver challenging Maddie for 4th place.
It is Surfy, one of the drivers that forgot to put on their setups. So, I know that's how Raptor, okay, that's the drag strip. You don't want to be out there when it's wet, that's for sure. But, yeah, Gogolsaw from Atlantis from Pluto. The lap's going to tick by a lot quicker. And DRS now enabled. Oh, Raptor.
Oh, safety car!
Safety car!
It's like the thing in this league. We got one this time. Raptor out after turn 1. And this could play into Polo God's hands. He pitted already, but he's on the hards. That's the problem. And the thing is, you probably can go mediums all the way to the end, so this will help Gogolsaw and Atlantis. Just not so much the medium runners, though. Do you want to pit? Do you want to go to the end? What's the choice here from these drivers, Milo?
I'm not sure, but certainly Gogolsaw and Atlantis are going to pit. I said I'm
Raptor
not sure.
put in the Discord. Sorry.
What's he put?
He put in traditions from Valtteri
Traditions.
Bottas.
Yeah. Traditions. He loves that gif.
Continue, sorry, I
No,
apologize.
it's alright, but yes, certainly Goggle Atlantis is going to come in. I think the medium runners are a bit screwed here. They're not going to want to go into hards, so they're just going to have to stay out, take the track position, and then pit later in the race. But actually, nice scenario for the soft runners.
I've got 12 notifications on Twitter just because I replied to one tweet from F1
Bruh.
thing. This is why I probably should stay off Twitter after like things like this. But I don't care. I comment on what I need to and I feel that I need to, but that's okay. I try to stay out of what I can. Surfy though has stayed out, and this could play a factor on this safety car restart. Some people choosing a difference in tire. Pluto and Goggle gonna go to hards. F1 and Sam to the softs though. That is just not gonna go to the end. But I will say though, this is F1 2019. I know this is F1 2021. I'm going to compare it to. In a league race yesterday, there was a driver's gamer tag. It was like Lando Norris 4404. Quite an interesting gamer tag, right? But he, at Japan, made the mediums go 16 laps, and everyone else thought, man, impossible. You're not going to make it to the end. And in this championship run, to possibly win the championship, he won that race. And that could be what helps him in the championship in that league that I was in. So why I say... those softs can make it. Those softs, they don't look like they can make it to the end, but anything is possible, as shown in the league race I did yesterday. And in that league race at Japan, I spun about like 7 different times, so I'm a fraud. I know.
You know what does look really weird though? The state of that safety car, the silver Mercedes.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Forgot about that.
That just looks so plain and boring. At least in my opinion. I think we really upgraded with the Aston Martin and the red Mercedes. Stands out so much more.
That is right. And what is going on between Atlantis and Goggleson? Look at the clouds. It's getting dark here.
Hopefully not more rain. Well, I like to see this run under dry conditions. But Surfy PO's in. He made the mistake of not pitting the first time around. Sam Steed is going to come in off the softs, which is definitely a wise thing to do. Go back onto
Surfy
mediums.
as well.
Yeah.
Surfy's going to softs.
Why?
I don't know. And Sam is going to 3-lap mediums. Oh. I don't think that's something he wanted. But the difference in tire could play a big factor in who wins this race.
Hopefully we can get racing at the end of this lap. How the pack is bunched up again. We're bound to see chaos, but that's what we're here for.
I'm just looking at the replies I got on Twitter. That's all.
And anyway, scrolling through Twitter, it's still all kicking off. People throwing punches at each other. Honestly, it won't stop until March next year.
Oh yeah. I can't tell if that's a reply to me or not. It doesn't say reply to. It says reply to me, Harrison, and F1. I don't know. To me, there's certain times I stay off Twitter for. Oh, contact! Goggles saw in Atlantis. That might lead to a 5-second,
yeah.
and it does. Flashbacks to Pluto and Kagoda under the safety car. Goggles saw went right into Atlantis, and he's backing up the pack. And once again, going about 30-40 miles per hour. And we're waiting for a safety car restart to happen here. The McLaren leads the safety car restart. Atlantis might have got hit right there. He might get another 5-second for that. But back to the green. Goggles saw is going to go off the final corner. He's got a good restart there. Didn't nail it, but he got 3/10 of a lead. And we have a whole 10 cars left in this race. And 10 cars are going to decide this race. And we'll see this train. How much will it form on this back straight? DRS isn't enabled till lap 8. So what difference is this going to make? As Polo got an X-Polo go wheel to wheel as we enter the back straight side by side between these two. They're both on mediums as well. X-Polo on the more old mediums. Polo on fresher. And as we head to the back straight, F1 and Maddie as well. They're going to go side by side, entering the hairpin this time.
Wow, Speedo goes to the outside, while Polo God goes to the inside, and that's both on Pluto, of course. Polo God gets past Pluto. And switching there to go up the inside is Pluto again. Pair of them make contact and side by side between Surfy and Expelo. Expelo being forced out wide by the Mercedes. It's Mercedes versus Red Bull.
Once again, we might need to go to the FIA and we might need some lawyers involved in this one. We might need some more lawyers involved with contact with Pluto. He moves him out of the way. Side by side still.
Surfy's gone
Surfy's
deep.
got it. Oh, no, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Oh, my God. Unbelievable racing, and Polo God has stuck right behind Maddie, 2 into turn 1, and he's lost the rear, and he's going to go out of the session.
No, not again, Polo God. Not again. Joe makes his way up into P2, Atlantis into 3rd.
Polo God's got an earlier vacation for that one, and F1 driver has just sent himself by Atlantis for 3rd place in this race. As Joe is 2nd place, and he's trying to catch Goggle Saw, who is one of the select few people on hards. His tires might not be good now, but they might be able to be the ones to survive to make it to the end of the race. And here comes F1 driver on Joe once again for 2nd place. He's gone by, but Joe is stuck at side by side, and F1 driver has gone by.
The 2 Red Bulls are side by side going into turn 8, and Expelo getting the elbows out, sticking is the 2nd place man off the track there briefly. The race winner versus 2nd place, both in the Red Bull, and they're having a great battle between the pair of them. But yeah, F1 driver already on the back of Gogglesaw, but his softs won't last long at all. F1 driver braking late to the outside of turn 2. He's going to switch back. That'll set himself up. He's going to have the DRS. He's going to have the ERS to play with as well. Gogglesaw has a lot less, so this is a simple move for F1 driver and Atlantis as well. Coming here at Joe. Ooh. Joe has DRS open as well. Atlantis to the inside at turn 6. Great move. And he's positioned the car nicely, so he's not under risk of switch track there as well.
I was surprised he was able to keep it going in a straight direction with the way he dive bombed that one, and he was able to get by, but Joe can't make a move right there into turn 8. But yeah, I was really surprised he was just able to keep that car positioned in the way he did, and bouncing over these curbs are all the drivers who go wide. But yeah, honestly, oh, yellow flag at the back, that is Surfy, but yeah, he kept his car going to the point where he couldn't get him to switch back. So great offense, then defense from Atlantis. It really gone in his direction and the way he wanted it to. So kudos to Atlantis for that one. He's on the podium. And we have 3 different drivers on the podium compared to last race. There were 3 different ones.
F1 driver the fastest lap, unsurprising. But how long can those soft tyres go? But it's the battle now for 2nd place. Gogglesaw's got to hold on for dear life. He now doesn't have the DRS from F1 driver. So here comes Atlantis. Round 2 between these 2.
Those softs, I mean, are they going to even make it to the end? And this is why Atlantis is pushing so hard to get by Goggle. He's going to go to the right side right here, down the inside at the hairpin. Joe might look around the outside right there. Atlantis, great defense again once he's got by Gogglesaw. And he's on the attack to possibly catch F1 driver right here for this race lead. Goggle cuts the grass just a little bit, and he's going to get under attack from Joe right there for 3rd place in this race. A big train all the way back to 7th.
Absolutely. Anyone's game, really, in this train.
Woo! Wow! Forgot how powerful those noises were, too, during commentary, but I kind of reminded myself of it. Explo's on the back of Pluto, and he's looking to get a move on right here for 6th place in this race. Pluto on the hards, Explo on the mediums, and this is just like the F2 days with these 2 battling. Back and forth with the Red Bull and McLaren. Expelo, after the collision he had on lap 1, he's still in this race, and he's still got a chance to make some moves.
Braking late again there, Expelo. But look at QBR 22. He's got a great exit. off of turn 4, and he's already in front of the McLaren. Great stuff there
Well,
from Joe.
one McLaren being overtaken, another being overtaken from Expolo. Expolo is going to go around the outside of the hairpin. Pluto is still got the inside line. Expolo right under the curb. They're going to go wheel to wheel heading into turn 7 this time. And Joe is still challenging Goggles Saw. He's also on the back of him. Can't make a move there. But Pluto is still trying around the outside of Expolo. Expolo is still not giving up right here. Now, again, side by side, Expolo is going to go ahead. And this invites Sam Steed right in.
That's the clean, fair racing we want to see. That's great between Expelo and Pluto, and that is why, you know, they have a reputation for racing cleanly, hard, but fair as well. Brilliant to see that sort of battle on a 2-year-old game as well.
That's why they're champions in this league.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why they're champions. F2 with Pluto, Expolo with tier 2. Amazing battling right here. And I mean, why are these people so desperate to make moves? You wonder. Atlantis is the lead car in this train, Goggles on hards, and then everybody behind that, even including Pluto on hards, wants to get by Goggle to have a chance at Atlantis, because F1 drivers softs could be dying here within the next 7 laps, and this is a chance for them to possibly get a podium, possibly win this race. And who knows what it could do. I mean, it's just bragging rights, but hey, I mean, it's worth it. It's a social race. It's having fun. But Atlantis has caught that gap down to 3 more tenths, 1.3 now with him and F1 driver.
Yeah, I think F1 driver 7 laps is more than you'd usually do. I know there's been some safety car laps in there as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in maybe this lap or next. The tyres do scream in terms of wear and temperature. Overheating was a massive problem I encountered, although I was on controller. But yeah, he's finally into the pits. So, the pack is unleashed. This is for the race win.
Well, that's what's important. And Pluto trying on Matty. And Atlantis has got himself out of DRS range from Goggle. So anybody looking to get by Goggle has got to do it now to catch Atlantis. And Joe, he's going to be the first one to try and get by. And Joe, to the left side here, darting by. Pluto also in this train with Maddie. Pluto may try something late in the brakes, and I was right, he will. Side by side, contact made. And Joe has gone by gone by Goggle, and Pluto has gone by Maddie.
He has. Joe up to second. He's having a great race here, and I'm sure he's having lots of fun as well, which is the main thing about all of this. It's not about positions, it's just really about the fun and taking part, as we were all told as kids.
Yeah. Oh. Was that Goggle going wide? Both McLarens on hards here. They're going to have the best tires toward the end of the race, but you got to consider, was mediums... Whoa, oh, okay. Well, you got to consider, was mediums a better choice, you know? I mean, although Joe has 11 laps in those mediums, Atlantis is 9. Those hards can go the full way, and that's guaranteed.
Matty's pitting again because he's done 2 medium stints, so obviously he's got to get off those tyres. No one else is running that problem at the minute.
Here comes Pluto on his teammate now. It's a little McLaren battle right here. Pluto going to go to the outside of Goggle Saw, heading into the hairpin. Both of them going to be wheel to wheel by the exit, but Pluto has to back out of that one for the time being.
He does, but he's going to have another opportunity because turn 7 and 8 is a great little mini straight to try and move up the inside. That's what Pluto's doing. Same length of hard compound tyres. Very similarly paced drivers by the looks of it as well. F1 driver making progress.
He's getting by Surfy. He's going wheel to wheel, and even on the old soft tires, Surfy can't challenge that one. F1 driver's gone through, and gap to DRS, gap to the leader. Joe has got within DRS, and as we head to 4 laps to go this time, Atlantis leading this race, but Joe, DRS, it's the double detection point right there. From out of the final corner to turn 1, and all the way down to turn 2, it's a brand new detection point. I don't know if he'll be within DRS with a detection point, but he should be this time.
9/10. Yeah, he certainly got it, and this will bring him even closer. He's perhaps just conscious of Gogglestore and Pluto behind him, but these two are fighting more than anything, so Joe can get his head down and get this pressure on Atlantis, and look, gap only down now to about 4 or 5/10, so Joe doing a great job, you have to say.
Well, I will say, he's got 12-lap mediums, and those mediums are... I mean, I know he switched onto those mediums, but those 12-lap mediums where he goes on 2 or 3 laps since the start, and then switched onto them at the safety car. I mean, you got to be concerned for his mediums. But are those tires wearing out for Atlantis and Joe to the point where it could be Goggle and Pluto taking over at McLaren on those hards?
Absolutely. Just 3 laps to go then when we cross the line. This is actually quite tense, and it's a 2-year-old game. I'm liking this.
I know.
Very
This is great.
great
to have.
DRS zones as well. That brings Joe. Oh, great opportunities. It's right on the edge. Through turn 1.
Well, what I will say though is out of the final corner, there's a detection point, and it brings you double DRS heading out of that final corner and into turn 1. And I didn't realize that until now, so that's important that you have it at the final corner. And Pluto was close to Gogglesaw for a moment, but who's closer? It's Joe on Atlantis around the outside at the hairpin. Atlantis is going to continue to defend, but Gogglesaw going down the inside. Joe goes off the racetrack, Surfy's out in the pit lane, but side by side, Gogglesaw is ahead.
That's unfortunate for Joe. He goes for the race lead, and he's dropped down to 4th as Pluto goes up the inside at turn 8. Very unfortunate scenes.
Now you can tell his mediums are going off, and this just completely shows it. Atlantis is either going to be the next one to be overtaken. We have 2 laps to go in this race as we cross the finish line this time.
4-way fight for the lead, and Sam Steed's waiting in the wings in the background as well. You can't beat a bit of this. Pretty much level playing field as, you know, everyone gets used to the game again. Atlantis with some vigorous defending into turn 1.
Oh, he almost loses it too. That was close, but here comes Gogglesaw to the outside this time. Entering turn 2 with DRS. Atlantis still defends and keeps the race lead to the back straight now. It's going to be both McLarens attacking Atlantis. We saw 3 wide yesterday. We might see it again with double DRS from both McLarens. Here we go.
Joe getting the slipstream as well. It's going to be 2 by 2 into the hairpin. Gogglesaw on the inside. Pluto around the outside. Oh my god.
3 wide.
3 abreast
my
on the exit. The McLaren's going wheel to wheel.
Side by side, entering turn 8, which is another great opportunity to overtake for Pluto.
Oh, this is absolutely epic.
Entering the last lap this time, Atlantis has got a chance to overtake again. Oh my god.
Oh, Pluto is still there, and he's going to maintain P2. Gogglesaw has gained just a little bit of breathing room from that.
Sam is off, and he had an opportunity to be within DRS as well.
Oh,
it's now just 4 cars fighting for this race win. Will the teammate of Pluto go for it as we reach the last lap? It's Gogglesaw ahead of Pluto, ahead of Atlantis and Joe. 4 cars within a DRS train, but here comes Pluto. Will he go for it before this back straight? Not just yet. Gogglesaw clips the grass as we enter DRS right now. Pluto's got it. Entering this back straight. Atlantis, he's in the wings. Joe's in the wings. They'll have opportunities to take this race lead as Pluto's going for it.
Here he goes. Pluto's going to have the outside, but goal race 8! Atlantis! Atlantis!
Joe! Here comes Joe! Oh my god! Here comes Joe!
Now with TRT! He's going to...
Oh my god! 4th to 1st! Oh, contact! Oh, round! Oh!
Genuinely. If you don't laugh, you'll cry.
I will. Okay, here comes Gogglesaw. He somehow avoided the trouble in the last lap to take the win. Gogglesaw's got it. Atlanta. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the fuck? I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. What was that? Oh my god. That's too funny. I want to see what the Twitch chat thought of that. I'm crying. That's funny. Well, to end off SRS in 2021, and for the last 2 years, Goggles Saw and McLaren showing that they could do it again. I think we need to talk about
We need to do that again.
Oh my god.
One
Yeah.
day.
If that's my last lap of commentary in this league, I'll take it. That was too funny. Oh my god. That was something else, yeah. Square says that was insane, and an all-British podium. I'm surprised we've... I mean, I don't know if we...
Oh, Britannia, Britannia, all the way.
I was gonna say, do we need to get lawyers involved in this one too? I mean, my crying sounds like I was taking something, but McLaren 1, 2. Where have we seen this before?
Oh.
Oh my god, that's funny.
All
Oh,
professionalism
F1 driver
goes,
got...
all professionalism goes out the windows on days like this. I mean, Fatty,
Yeah.
what a prick. Fatty being a prick. Fatty going up the inside. Fatty ruins it for everyone. And I've called this guy Fatty so much on this stream, and I do not care one bit. He deserves it now. Exactly, just don't be fat. I'm not
Isn't
fat.
bullying
driver
against
got-
the terms and conditions of Twitch?
Yeah, well, fuck it, the league's dead. Boo!
Why is he being fired? Yeah, got a
Boo!
It wasn't me.
Why did Joe let it die? Boo!
I win.
Oh, that whole last lap, I need to go back and watch that. I'm surprised if they don't have lawyers involved in this one too, but Goggles Saw... I'm out of words on that one, but tell me about the last lap and the race for yourself. Make sure you guys include it too.
Well, my pedals came loose about half an hour ago, and I've got cramp in my left leg, and I couldn't see where I was going because every time in my mirror, all I'd see is James's fat arse. And then I was taking place on my hands and my knees.
Sorry.
To give me the position back, and we did. And then James said he was doing a quote-unquote Max Verstappen, which, in reality,
He's not that bad.
he committed a major terrorism attack. So I think any proceeds that are made from this stream should go to victims of James's fucking fatness.
Yeah.
McDonald's industry.
Well, I want to know your opinion on what Michael Massey would say about this one, Goggles Saw. Tell me what Michael Massey would say. I said, tell me what Michael Massey would say about this one. What do you think?
I think
With
he'd leave
Atlantis.
me and James to have a sumo wrestle.
All right. Well, congratulations on that. I also want to ask you as well to sum up this league in memories and things you'll miss and everything else like that. Talk to viewers, talk us through things you'll miss, things you'll remember, and just anything else you want to say about this league.
I won't miss any of it. It was all shit. Bye.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Well, speaking to his teammate, who I hope has more positive energy, Pluto, speak us through the last few laps and that whole race itself. How much fun was it?
It was really fun. It was great. I was enjoying it. I kept backing off the SRS and pushing. The one move I sent to the main track was really fun. Where I managed to just needle it way in between the two of them. The last lap, I caught the corner a little bit, turned one accident, so I lifted off at the end of the straight, like goggle back through, and then a huge person comes diving up the inside and just ruins the race.
That's too funny. Well, I want to know your thoughts on Michael Massey and what he would say about this too. What would Michael Massey say about Atlantis with that one?
Lose weight.
Brilliant.
Wow. Wow. Well, obviously, if it's not already included, make sure your audio is included. I would like to ask you about the league memories. I mean, you've been here since season 1. Memories, things you want to say, and things you'll miss and remember.
I don't know. I was sort of falling out of love with it towards the end of it. It wasn't that fun at the end, but it was a really fun time when it was first a thing. When I was in tier 2 in season 2, that season was really fun. I remember racing with Riles in season 1. Yeah.
You're kidding. I had to ask him that too, so.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. Yeah, it was a good league. I think one of my favourite times was season 4 Italy, when it was pissing it down the whole race, and I had to hold back Jack, you know, the speedy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that was ridiculously quick. I had to hold him back for the whole race, pretty much.
His
Hardest
birthday
I've ever
was today as
concentrated.
well.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's also fair to say too, and I'm going to be completely honest here, that Milo could probably have to agree with me. If there was any lineup in the league that was the best, I'd definitely choose season 3 McLaren, or even season 4 McLaren. Both those lineups, I think, definitely were the best lineups in the league. If you had to, if I had to choose,
Yeah,
I
it's
think Milo
season
could
3.
vouch for that one too.
We won by like
Season 3
how many
was,
points?
yeah,
300 points maybe.
yeah, something like
The
that.
thing is, I personally believe this real life Mercedes versus Red Bull thing, which still Michael Massey's probably being held at gunpoint as we speak, it's actually quite reflective of just the tension. I'm honestly, nothing for me beats the kind of ARL, SRS, McLaren,
Williams.
Williams.
Oh,
Just
McLaren's
Haas
Haas
rivalry,
is
brilliant.
brilliant.
McLaren Haas.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Renault rivalries. Like, this league has rivalries. You don't get many, like, team rivalries, and that's like...
I mean, I say Haas because like everything was involved with like the stewards or admins, and like with Mercedes Red Bull it involved the stewards or admins. So
Fuck it, man.
McLaren.
McLaren, yeah.
McLaren. Anything else you wanna say as a send off, Mr. Joe Corker?
No?
No?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Well, congratulations on that race as well. Who else got that podium?
Me.
Joe?
Yeah.
Guan Yu Joe? Okay. Well, that's been the whole joke this stream either way. But QBR20 Joe, TRT Joe now, talk us through that race. And I already spoke with you beforehand on the memory, so this one can go by quick.
I mean, lap 1, I was a torpedo. Ignore that. I was saved by the safety car. And then it was a good battle the rest of the race. Last like 3 laps were mental as a 4-way battle. Thought I'd lost my chance when I went into P4, but then James decided to be James, which brought me back. Yeah, and then yeah, just got a bit lucky. Thought I can maybe get the win, but then yeah, Evan sent it. But I'm happy with P3.
Yeah, I mean, I asked everybody else about this one, but speak about Michael Massey. What does he have to say about Atlantis?
Obviously it's a racing incident.
Okay.
10 seconds
Well,
about Max Verstappen.
Yeah, he brake tested us.
But if I had to ask you guys before we move on to Atlantis, which I'll let Milo get onto, before we go on about that, I do want to ask you guys 2 questions. We'll start with everyone in this party. We'll start with the first one. If you had to think about best rivalry in this league between teams, which one would it be?
Oh, easy. Toro
I'd say
Rosso
McLaren Williams.
versus Renault.
McLaren Williams.
Nah, Toro Rosso versus
That's Toro Rosso versus McLaren.
Toro Rosso versus
That was
McLaren.
never. That was
That was
never.
not a rivalry.
You mean
Oh, is it?
versus Renault? Season 2 was versus Renault.
Yeah, that one. Remember that.
I think what we need to do is we need to go back to the Italy race and like restream it, I guess. on the SRS Twitch and from that season.
Old
That was
race
chaotic, but
drums. That could be a
old
show.
old races, yeah. But no, congratulations on that, Joe. Atlantis, make sure your audio's included. Milo, you can have your comments toward him and ask him, and then we'll get some other people who are in the lobby and speak to them.
Hi, Marla.
Yeah. So, hello, Atlantis. Yeah. Awkward.
Torpedo.
Who's your idol then? Fiat, Chaplin.
Definitely could be. I'm in this car today,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm in.
He got opposed here in 2019.
Well, I
was
saw
holding
that
back
Joe. I saw that Joe and Pluto get like cut in the corners. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna like see what happens. I went for it, see what happens.
Fuck it, let's ruin the race.
I only cut the last lap,
Well,
and then I gave the place back for
it
it.
was just like I feel
If you
like
actually get onto time trial and do the line I was doing, you'll see that it's legal.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
That
The whole
line,
race as well.
you're
I
allowed
was doing
to
the time
pretty
trial.
much take up the whole corner. It's legal.
Yeah.
Except
Well,
for the one
either
for the last
way-
lap where I gave it back.
either way. I mean, I was literally running low and lean to have a fight because on their medium side I would have ran away if I was just on Richie.
Oh, sure, definitely.
But I mean, I literally was. I was on low and lean trying to wait for you guys.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
wanted to fight a little bit. I was. I was only on 32% time. It's fine.
I don't know what I was on in the end.
So you know, but
No,
I
50,
don't know.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and about the league, it's what it is. I mean, good things must come to an end. At the end of the day, I don't think we can really blame an individual. I think it just comes down to the fact that obviously lockdown's now over, and 2 years, you've had 4 seasons in 2 years, spanning over 2 games. It's just one of those things. At the end of the day,
Yeah, three, to be fair.
yeah. So there we
That's
go.
just how long it's been.
And like you can't postpone things too long. You can't keep running it. Like it will die out. You know, people get back to their normal reality. Who knows? Another lockdown, people will come back, and we can have a season of F1 2019 or something. But you never know.
I mean, we have ideas what we could do. Is we'll probably do more social races.
I'm all for that, to be fair. Stuff like
F1
this.
2019 is an option. There's also some other options. Won't share that yet, but we do have some plans.
Cheers, Joe.
Any other things for Atlantis, Milo? Or?
No. Sorry.
Everyone's been quiet on me, but
Back to
no, it's all good. It's all good. Oh no, I know, right? That'll be the main focus
Yeah.
tonight for sure.
Still going on.
I don't really have anything else for Atlantis besides telling you, are you trying to be like the next Max Verstappen or something?
Honestly,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what are you trying to be?
honestly,
That's my only.
I was just having fun. I haven't played any I haven't played any F1 since like September. So it's just
See, that's what's good. It's good for people to have fun and get back to things and things like that. It's good to have that, and I'm glad.
I wasn't doing it in like a dickish way. Like I wasn't gonna take them out. I was just doing it to like just be a dick, but not to be too much of a dick. If that makes sense.
I think what would have capped it all off for you. I think what would have capped it all off for you is what you did at season 1 Britain. You should have made everyone have cold tires and be at the back and go 20 miles per hour on the formation lap. Yeah, that would have definitely capped it all off.
I've changed. Unfortunately, I've changed.
Maybe next event.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next event. But, yeah. No one will remember that I told you that, but no, congratulations on that. And no, I kind of do want to add some words before we talk to Polo. But yeah, I think something worth adding, like Atlanta said, it's not really anybody's fault either. I don't really blame anybody for it because throughout the last couple of, not really a couple of, the last year, I think it's worth saying the F1 game has changed so much to the point where more glitches, more problems, people moving on with life, and you have the pandemic, you have everything. Yeah, everything goes into it. It's not just like one solitary thing you can blame it on, and that's just my little spiel on that. But Paulo, I want to speak to you now. Make sure you have your audio included. Those races, you said it summed up your season 1 and season 2. Explain to me the nightmare of races you had.
Well, the two social races can probably speak for themselves on my season 1. Just constant DNFing. To be honest, I was in a pretty weird state, like the start of 2020. We were going into a lockdown. Uh, it's I've been going through personal things as well. So I wasn't really in a great mindset like during the 2019 days. So I guess I wasn't really that great. Plus I was running medium traction, so I was pretty bad at the game back then. But I guess um yeah, season 1 and 2 were just pretty bad, and so I think it's popped into my head when I was saying I was having personal troubles with hashtag Polo 2020. Oh, those were the
I remember that
days.
post too.
Hashtag Polo
Remember that.
2020, 2020 is gonna be my year. Yeah, COVID was like, no, no, it's not. But yeah, I I don't really have much more to say about season 1 and 2, except for the fact that it's fucking terrible. Apologies for my fruity language, but yeah.
Fruity.
Saying fricking and effing in the same sentence.
No more saying
People got
cuss words, guys. It's inappropriate and violent.
I do want to say though, if there's two questions for you, I'll start off with the first one. If there's anything to reflect on your seasons though, in the league, I do want to know what it is from season 1 all the way to season 5.
Well, I knew from season 3 onwards, I had the paces, so I needed a consistency, and season 3 was definitely that season where I had the most consistency and I was like at my best. Um, again, that was also a pretty weird time because it was around like it was the start of 2020. Obviously, it was I was heading back into school and I was trying to keep up with league racing, and I'm pretty sure I was an admin at that point. I was commentating, trying to keep up with that in school. But other than that, yeah, season 3 was probably like when I was at my highest in league racing ever, because like I was at my best, and I guess reflecting on that, there was probably many points where I should have won in this league. It had to take me until season 5 to bloody win a race, which of course had to happen in Italy, a track which was the one that caused me to rage quit the previous season. So I guess redemption in that sense, but yeah, I guess all I can really reflect on is really I could have done a lot better than I could have in this league, but I guess we can't really change the past now. We just gotta move on, and I guess move on with league racing in general. Now that the league's kind of, well, then obviously we'll be doing social races, which I will be taking part in, hopefully. But yeah, I guess we just move on and look forward to the future, I guess.
A certain person by the last 4 letters in her name being Ocon wanted me to mention 81 seconds of penalties to you.
Oh, lovely.
Oh dear, I forgot about that.
But yeah, either way, you did say you wanted to say something, but when you say that, or well, before you say that, I want to ask memories, wow, history, things you'll remember, things you'll miss, things like that. What is there to kind of cap off with you in this league, and things you have to say regarding that?
Like, I'll start with my best memory. Obviously, season 5, Italy was probably like my best moment in possibly league racing. I'm not sure, but like, I know it wasn't really like not like it wasn't really like a last lap overtaker. It was more of a comfortable win. But the moment I crossed the line, like it was the most exciting. Like, obviously you were there with me when it happened. It was the most happiest I've ever been over a league racing win ever. It took me so long.
I remember being there.
Yeah, of course you were there. It took me so long to like work up to that moment, and because I was so inconsistent, I wasn't really doing great at that point in the season either. So I didn't think it was going to happen this season either. But then I just had that one perfect race in Italy, and that kind of was my best memory. My worst memory was probably season 4, like the midpoint of season 4 after I got my podium in China. Yeah, I just dropped off completely. My motivation was low, and then obviously that caused me to leave the league. And my motivation was at an all-time low until like I came back. So yeah, that's probably my worst memory. My weirdest memory was probably
8 seconds,
season 3,
surely.
bringing in the race engineer thing. I don't know why I did that looking back. But to be fair, it was a pretty fun time. I mean,
what was good about it though is you were race engineered, and then I was race engineering F1 driver at that time. And then when season 5 started, obviously it was you an F1 driver, race engineered by me. So obviously that was quite fun to have.
yeah, obviously university engineering was pretty good back in season 5. Obviously, not many people knew about that because reasons, but
Situation.
yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, I guess my race engineer stopped race engineering like after, I think it was Italy. That was her last race engineering me or something. And she didn't engineer me at all during season 5. I remember like throwing my controller at my last race, and she was like, "Okay then."
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Now, you did say you wanted to say something as well on stream. I think you said something about wanted to say something before I started streaming today. Was there anything else you were wanting to add on to that?
Well, yeah, finally, what I wanted to say. Well, I guess I want to say that it's been the greatest pleasure racing here. I mean, this entire 2 years racing here, there's been the ups, the downs, sides. I don't know, but it's been an amazing journey. Obviously, we've had many ownerships, many like trivial moments, many great moments in the league, and being as a commentator and admin, a very forgettable ownership. We don't speak about that. It's been an incredible journey, and I guess I'm gonna miss this league a lot because it's been my main league for 2 years. But I guess to quote what Brian always says, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, no. What was that?
Sue.
But no, I agree with you right there, and I was gonna add on to that as well. I mean, this league definitely created a lot of memories for me. It pushed me to want to commentate more. It pushed me to do what I wanted to do more, and it also pushed me to kind of change my opinions on things. There was things that happened in this league as an owner that I was caught in controversy for, and that all happened. We know it happened. But the point is that, with things like that, with life, you learn different things. And throughout the experience of owning this league, being a steward, commentating, admin, so on, I've learned a lot. And I think everyone else has learned a lot too. And I'm glad I've been here for the time I was. And if I wasn't here for the time I was, I don't know what I'd be doing. Because the last 2 years definitely said a lot for for the first year at least, for what I could manage for this league, and for the second year, what the admins were able to do without me. For them to be able to get a full year in as well, just about a full year in for this league, considering the circumstance that had happened on December 20th of last year, that's amazing. I didn't expect that. And I know my opinions at first with what had happened. I'd been very critical, and I'd been very obnoxious of things that had happened. I was very critical on things that happened. I was very, very clear on my opinions at the time, and I've learned on things like that to maybe not be so critical on certain things, and definitely don't publicize certain things either, because that can get you into certain places. But the point being is that the fact that this league ran for a year again, and kept it going, that's incredible. I own this league, and I wanted the best for it. And especially toward the end, I was personally hoping for the best, but it just wasn't able to be in the favor I think everybody wanted it to. And the community that has been built, incredible, absolutely incredible. Everybody in this party, I didn't even know you until you joined the league. I didn't even know who you were. So obviously that creating this league helped create friendships with people, including myself, including others. And I think people could vouch for me here. Like, obviously it probably helped better friendships in this league too, and especially with what goes on in league racing and what goes on in life. There's a lot that people are going through that you don't know about, and take it as if you don't know what's going on with somebody, because you don't know what could be happening. You don't know how some could affect somebody, and you don't know what the future holds, because right now this could be, who knows, the last time commentating in this league for me, last time commentating with Milo, who knows, I don't know. There's a lot that the future holds that is very, very unknown, and we'll have to see how it plays out. But like I said, as Polo said too, like I said, with this league, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened, because what happened here with this league is something to not forget. I think it's something people got to remember, that this league created a community. There's some friends in this league that people might not would have had if it weren't for this league. And creating...
That's loud, sorry.
Jesus. But no, creating this league was something that helped better friendships with people online, better friendships with people in the league, better friendships with people who didn't even know each other before, you know, and it also showed a lot of people's ability. 2 weeks ago it was, I know I'm going on like a paragraph just over voice now, but
this is an essay.
Yeah, it is an essay, just over voice text. But something I was going to say is 2 weeks ago, I remember people bringing up memories, people bringing up moments that had happened in the league, and even thanking me for what I did for this league. And even don't just thank me though. Thank Square, thank Paulo, thank F1 Driver, thank Joe, thank everybody else who was admin in this league, because although people might not see it behind the scenes, they did a lot more than you may think. And it is not credited enough. And even, sorry, didn't I do Milo and Joseph? Or Milo, yeah, Milo, Joseph, Milo, Joe, other Joe. But you guys as well. A lot of people did their credit in this league that it sometimes goes unnoticed, and that credit can continue to real life. Like, for example, me and Milo commentated. That could continue to some real life in the future. You never know. So a lot has happened in this league that, regarding the future, you don't know what could happen, and only time will tell. And I want to kind of vouch and kind of summarize some things from people in this party. I'm gonna first go with Polo and talk about you for a second. You know, in this league, there were many times where you're like, all right, I give up, I'm done. But the effort you put in other leagues as well, to be able to not give up and be able to do what you've done for races, you got a good result yesterday in RPL, and I was like, look that's why you never give up. And that's the whole point. That's my advice to you as well, Paulo. Just never give up, because and I'm gonna give my advice to everybody in this party in a moment, but I think never give up, because you don't know what you could achieve if you never give up. I know you've had friendships as well that you've had end, and you think, well, is it my fault? Is it my fault? Believe what you believe in and never give up, because things will be coming brighter for you in the future. Joe, QBR20 Joe, the work you've done in this league as well is worth pointing out. A lot of people had criticized you, including myself. I criticized you before, and I think it's worth pointing out. As an owner of a league, it's very hard. And Milo can vouch for me on this as well, but it's very hard. The pressure you put up with as well with Square, be able to own this league, and even get it to where it's at right now with the end of season 5, even in season 4, is incredible. And you know, if you do choose to own another league, or do choose to be an admin and steward, just know that you've got my word that you will definitely do great with that, because you did great here, and I think you'll do great in other places as well. And congrats on going to TRT too. Regarding Milo, Milo is probably the best commentator I think I've worked with in league racing, and worked with ever. I couldn't speak it better. Whether it's him co-commentating with me, or me co-commentating with him, whatever it is, or him commentating ABS, LDRL, WOR, whatever it may be, Milo is definitely hands down the better commentator and the best commentator. I don't like comparing things, but it's the truth, and I have to speak on it, because wherever Milo does choose to go, if he does choose to get a career in commentating, whatever it may be, he's gonna do a really good job at it, and I can see it already. And especially with LDRL, I want to speak a little bit on that. Owning a league is tough, and trust me, even when it looked like in your eyes, like, okay, this is over, like, okay, this is not, you put an effort to put it back together. And with things like that being said, you might think, oh, well, it's over, you know, I can't get it back going. Even if that is true, think about the fact that you can't say you didn't try, because you did try. And regarding Pluto as well, okay, me and Pluto have a lot of history, and that's worth mentioning. I've been critical on things that have happened. He's been critical, and we both have our moments. But with Pluto, he's one person I will say, and this is not like in a mean way at all. You do not want to get in an argument with him, because Pluto backs up his facts, backs up what's right, and Pluto is one person who will not back down. And that's what I love about Pluto. That's what I love about everybody here. Everybody here doesn't back down for what they believe in or what they see in people or whatever. You don't back down. And Pluto's that one person here, probably the most, who doesn't back down. So that right there says a lot, and especially whenever with what's going on in our world and everything else, Pluto's one person who would not back down from anything, and that's what I love. That's what I love to see, because there's people who, if they're told to like get out or whatever in certain places, they'll back down. Pluto's one person who just won't back down, and I love that, and that's worth it for many scenarios. And as well, the racer Pluto's been, I got to race him in GSR, I got to race him in other leagues as well a couple of times. Pluto's been a great teammate to have, and he's definitely very helpful when it comes to setups and stuff like that. So anybody here, anybody who I've spoke about, you guys have my back as well. And oh my God, nice super max in the chat. But yeah, everybody here, I think you guys have a long way to go, and it'll be a bright future for everybody here. I think that's worth saying. I don't know if you guys want to say anything else, but if you do, now's your time before I say my whole little 2 more seconds I have to say after that.
You've been talking for such a long time.
Thank you for the words anyway. Well, let's let Pluto eat.
Yeah, let's let Pluto eat.
Good time to end, I think.
All right. Well, that's our last time of this year for SRS. That's one more time. We got to finish it the way we wanted to, with a nice clean race and with a nice battle. 4 cars at the finish, and I think both events for at least a great battle. We had both events had great battles. Both events had great moments. And trust me, either way, last race of F1 this year, last race of SRS this year, we capped it off the way we wanted it to, and I'm glad things ended up being the way it is. Who knows if this will be my last time commentating here, who knows if it won't, but whatever the future holds, I'm ready to see what it does, and especially with everybody else here too. You guys are amazing, especially the admins too. I forgot to mention Square and others. You guys, thank you for letting me do this. Even Joe, I forgot to mention you, and Milo, and everybody else, thank you for letting me do this. And thank you to Raptor, Aaron, Polo, and everybody else who recommended me for doing this event. 12 months ago, I wouldn't have expected that. So truly thank you. And that's really it for me. Me and Milo, nice one. Me and Milo, that's our last time for this year at least. Whatever the future holds, we'll see what goes on. This is RhinoCon31 and Milo as well, signing off. It'll be last time this year, and we'll see where things go in the end. Well, for everybody who watched, have a good one. And for everybody who's here and enjoyed it, have a good one.
Have a good one.
We'll see you next time.
Merry Christmas.